Welcome. Uh,
Hello,
Tre-
Benet.
can I say Trevor or what? City
Sure, you can call me
Crusher?
Trevor.
Okay,
You can call me Trevor. Yeah, that's us as well.
sounds
And I just
good.
wanted to start off by saying I'm really happy to see channels like yours popping up everywhere. I was originally thinking it would be great if we had like a big voice, like Sargon of Akkad got big after a while. But that's not really how it's working out for men's rights. It seems more like having many personal channels that are small but sharing their experiences seem to be doing far better, in
hmm
my opinion, from what I'm seeing.
Before we start, because I tend to forget that every time, can you maybe introduce yourself to the viewers that are not yet
Oh,
familiar with you?
yes, everyone. My channel name is citycrusher. It's been up for about 5.5 years now, and it's just taken forever to grow. Like Benak can tell you too. I'm just barely over 1,000 subs as it is. YouTube clamped down on men's rights about, well, 2019, something like that. And so anti-right, or I should say anti-feminist channels used to be very popular, and all of a sudden it would just shut down. You weren't seeing them anymore. So it's because a feminist got, I forget what her name is, Banaka, Wojak or Weajak or whoever was, she was CEO of YouTube, feminist, and then everything just clamped down. That's when um, you started saying if you typed something negative with the word woman in it, it would be banished. It wouldn't come through. And you see that a lot. Like if you looked at the comment sections of my channel, a lot of the times guys will be complaining saying, I've typed this 3 or 4 times and it just won't appear.
hmm
And you may
Okay,
not realize that with your channel just because
I
depending on
mean,
what you talk about.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with my channel. I would not consider myself a men's rights activist, as at least not in the sense that men's rights activists use it. Probably, I would definitely. I'm probably politically pretty centrist left. I would consider myself,
Yeah,
and
it
uh,
seems to be.
and but on the other hand, I'm also. I think also pretty Texas just as a person. Yeah, I think that most people in society still are, and
Oh
I don't
yeah.
really see it as a big problem to until it becomes. Yeah, we can talk about that probably. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
of
that I
course.
don't have the same issues that you have on YouTube. So I can see that, of course, obviously I'm also going to be affected from just like the word incel or blackpill or all
Yeah.
of that being like shadow banned, and I don't know how true that is.
It
And
might work in
also,
your favor though, right? Because they do, YouTube doesn't mind fairly controversial content as long as it's gender neutral to a certain
hmm
degree.
hmm yeah.
So
So so
you might outgrow me in within a year,
I
something
might
like
not
that.
face the same challenges as your channel might face. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
exactly.
Um, so yeah, so why are we here? Basically, my one of my viewers has suggest. I always ask my viewers for suggestions because I want to. Most of my viewers are ideologically and very opposed to what I think and believe in, which I think is a good thing. And I always want to know what they are consuming and if they. I ask them what they suggest to me, and sometimes they suggest something and I think it's interesting, and that was the case with you. And but at the same time, I'm currently working basically on the series on incels and the black pill. So I'll try
Yeah,
to keep the topics adjacent to this topic, if
sure.
that's all right for you. But obviously,
No,
if you have stuff that you want to talk about with me, or feel free to just throw it in, maybe at the
no,
end
no.
or
I'm
now,
glad
whenever you want.
if you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
where do you come from? What country are you from?
I'm I'm living in Germany. I was
Oh,
born and
but I
raised in
thought you.
Germany.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
Okay. For
but
some reason, I thought you were a fellow Canadian. I thought you might have been
no,
like from Quebec or something like
no,
that.
no, no, no. But I have a Middle Eastern background, so my parents are from the Middle East, and
Oh,
I
that's why when you
yeah,
said German, I said his accent does not sound very
no,
German to me, you
no.
know?
Sometimes
But you,
people
yeah,
hear it still, but yeah. So you have also talked about incels and the black pill on your channel. That was obviously the
yes.
first thing that I looked for when I got on your channel, because since I'm working on the series, I thought that might make a lot of sense. Uh, and I found out, and I found that you use the term, you use it, and the way you use it, I have to assume that you use different definitions. Sometimes you use, maybe you can tell me what you think incel means
The
or
black
what
pill
your definition
or
is.
incel. Oh, yeah. Well, the incel originally was simply what it says, involuntary celibate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's morphed into simply a man who doesn't know his place. So, for example, uh, if you get an argument with a woman or even another guy, they might call you an incel if it engages in gender relations in any negative way. They'll call you an incel. You could have a girlfriend, you could have a regular sex life. They're still going to call you an incel. So it's not about what it used to mean. It has morphed into you're a man who doesn't know his place. That's simple. It's the N word for men, for the average man.
Yeah, but wouldn't that? I feel like that's kind of a weird definition to use. The way people use it as an insult, to use that as a definition feels kind of wrong. I mean, like people use words like nerd or like the F slur for gay people. Uh,
Yeah.
that's like, that doesn't change the meaning of the word. Just people basically misusing it. I mean, I've heard you misuse it to people. You've said to people, I mean, I know you did it kind of jokingly, but you've called people incels that were obviously not incels, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm using the actual term of it now. Like not the original term just doesn't exist anymore. People aren't really using it.
But I mean,
They're using
incels
it
are using
as
it,
the N word,
right? But I
you
mean,
know.
I'm talking regularly to people adjacent to the sphere, and they still use it. I mean, in the real sense, right?
Right. But at the same
So,
time, if someone's insulting you with it, that
mhm.
insult has nothing to do with the actual, you know, the actual definition.
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
So,
So, what's your definition then? So it can't be men that don't know their
well, my
place, right?
definition is it's the N word. It's like know your place. You know, if you say something true, so that is like girls go for status, which is true, right? The MGTOW would say hypergamy, whatever, and they want to deny that fact, they would call you an incel, right? So they
Okay.
say you don't know your place.
Hmm.
You're supposed to endorse the lie,
Do
even
you
if it's
think
harmful to you, right?
so? If I would have asked you, I don't know, in the early 2000s or in the 90s, if I would have asked you, what does gay mean? Would you have said guy that is not courageous enough to fight? Would you have said that? I don't know. It doesn't seem to make so
Well,
much sense to me.
well, you take it the word bag, for example,
Or
meant
just gay,
limper.
just gay. Let's just use gay.
Yeah,
We don't even have
no,
to
but I
use the
mean,
slur
when
version.
that slur version was actually used to say you're limp-wristed, you're feckless. So that's
No, but
why
mhm.
gay men in the past who were like who was it the 300? What's that movie off? Spartans.
Yeah.
The Spartans were gay, but no one would call them that slur name because they were ass kickers, right?
But let's
So,
forget about the slur word. Let's just use gay instead. Just the word gay.
okay,
If I would have
sure.
asked you in the 90s, in the mid end of 90s, if I would have asked you what does gay mean, you probably would have had to answer guy that is not courageous enough to do X,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Well, we would
Because
use it as in it's just bad. It's just negative, period,
yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
like you would say, oh, someone would put on like a music and you'd say, oh, that's gay, but it just means it
yeah.
means bad,
But can't
right?
you feel that somehow someone then who's like me interested in the topic and hears you talk about incels and the black pill and sees you use it. Sometimes you use it as the official meaning, involuntary celibate, and then you flip flop basically between those two definitions, and it's really hard to track what you actually mean there. So
Yeah, because both are
and
going
if
on.
I ask you, you also say man that doesn't know his place. So maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little bit. It's a big communicational barrier, I think. And I don't know if it's a yeah. Maybe we can
Well,
clear that
that's
up.
just like there's a difference between the average guy who's an incel and an ideological incel, right? So there's the guys who are actually calling themselves incels and it has meaning to them. And then there's just the average guy who says, well, I haven't had a date for 3 years or something like that.
Sure,
So there are differences, period,
sure. But none of
because it
those are
is
men
really
that don't know their place, right? None of those fit your definition, right?
yeah, in that case. However, mine is important because
Okay.
it speaks to men's issues, right? Because
I'm
it
not
doesn't
sure. I
matter
don't
to
know.
me. Well, let's put it this way. It doesn't matter to me that a guy doesn't get a date for 3 years. But it does matter if a man's being
Wait, it
insulted,
doesn't
his
matter to
voice is
you.
being shut down
It
by
doesn't
using
matter
that.
to you. It doesn't matter to you if a guy doesn't get a date in 3 years. You don't care.
Yeah, because it's not the same as uh, losing your rights, exactly. For example, uh, parents still have the right to cut their little boys, right? And that damages their sexuality. That's what
You mean
circumcision is
circumcision?
about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just as an example.
Mm-hmm.
That's a right men don't have. Like, it's actually illegal to do it to girls. It's not illegal to do guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it does actual harm, right? So there's a difference between,
I don't
let's
know.
say, you or I saying, we can't we can't get the girl because our we don't have the right pickup line, and I can't function sexually because I've been damaged through circumcision. Totally
Oh,
different levels. You know what I mean?
before we go there, I mean, okay, you're basically just saying, okay, it's not the biggest it's not the biggest um, thing that people that men suffer from. So it's comparatively very small compared to other things that men suffer from. So you don't care
No,
about the
no,
man.
no. Yeah, let me
But that's what you just said, right?
add something to it.
No.
There's a
Okay.
big difference between a guy being struck out and a guy being abused by women when he gets struck out. For example, uh, if you said, "Oh, I can't get the girls," and the girls were saying, "Yeah, you just don't have enough money to bribe me," there's nothing you can do about that. But when women say, "Oh, you just need to take a shower," now that's abuse, right? That's gaslighting. They're it's victim blaming, right?
Shh.
So there's a psychological damage going on there that isn't involved with simply hitting on the girls and passing out. When I was a boy, all kinds of guys would hit on girls. They would they would fail,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would say, "Oh, well, that's too bad, bro," and there's not much you can do with it. But it's not the same as the gaslighting, which is psychologically damage. It's not the same as the false accusations that destroy a man's life. This generation is on a
Okay,
whole
you
other
wait.
level.
Okay, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go to all of these topics.
Yeah.
I promise. Just to make sure, but that's still the same answer, right? Right? You're basically saying that there is way worse things that happen to men ex- than being incels, right? So not getting
Yes.
a romantic partner, not going on a date for 3 years is not that bad. So you don't care, right? That's how we started this.
I can't
That's,
say I don't care
but
exactly.
you
That'd be
said that.
too callous.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not top priority to me.
Okay. Okay, but
You know.
okay, maybe to wrap this topic up, can we? I mean, I think you agree that the definition doesn't really make sense for our conversation, right?
You mean the one I gave?
Yeah. Or do you like? How would you? I mean,
Well,
basically every word
it's
that is being
important in the
used,
men's right view. It's important in the mine is important to men's right view,
but
right?
yeah.
But if you're worried about black pill, then you're just the original is what you're worried about.
I mean,
The
every
original
word
definition.
is incel the only word that is being used against men in the scenario that you just explained? I mean, you have many words that are being used against men or women or whatever, and that are being used against people in certain situations where they're basically rebelling against some injustice or something like that. No matter how you want to put it, and it wouldn't make no sense to change the definition of the words that they use to men who don't know their place, right? That just makes
Yeah.
no sense.
But it's more important. It's more important to have that because that's what's actually going on.
Wait,
Like I say,
no, we have to
no,
make,
it is. Look, if someone calls you an incel when you get in an argument,
yeah.
they're saying you don't know your place, and that is important at the time.
What if they call me a
Because
pig?
it's not, what's that?
What if they call me a pig? Which
It's an
women do,
insult.
right? Which women call men pig who are horny, right? And then you say pigs are horny men. And if I ask you what is a pig,
Yeah.
and then you say it's horny men, and I'm like, there's still pigs out there, right?
Yes.
So there's still incels out there, right?
But when a
Even
woman
though
is calling you a pig, she's not calling
independent,
you like an actual pig, you
yeah,
know?
and she's not calling you an actual incel.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so it's the same
But
thing. So we don't change the definitions just because people use it in certain contexts to insult other people, right? We don't do that
well,
usually.
well, if they're insulting you with incel, it has nothing to do with being an actual incel.
I know.
Because
That's what I'm
again,
saying.
they
So wait, if you say it has nothing to do with being an actual incel, then actual incel, you know what incel actually means. So it doesn't mean man who doesn't know their place. It actually means something else, right? You just admitted to that. So you're basically contradicting yourself when you're saying that it's
not really. Not
okay.
really.
What is an
Look,
incel?
if someone insults you with the word incel, they don't mean a guy who just can't get laid. And you know it because you'll say, "Oh, I'm married. I I have sex occasionally."
I know.
So you know that the typical definition does not fit when they're calling you incel.
Because that's the you don't understand that if I ask you then what is an if they call me a pig, okay,
Yes.
they call me a pig, and then I ask you what is a pig, what do you
Well, I'm not
answer?
going to say it's a barnyard animal,
Why not?
right?
Why not? That's
Because
the correct
they're not
answer.
calling you a barnyard animal.
Yeah, but
They're
it's not,
telling
they calling me something doesn't change the definition of the actual word.
but it's
So
important in the context.
I asked you what an incel is. I am having a have you seen my channel? I know that you have at least seen a video, right?
I've watched a
So
couple videos. Sure.
so we are not talking about insults that women utter to men. We're talking about actual incels. That's, and if
Oh,
I
I see.
ask you
So
what is an incel, then I think you should be able to just, I mean, if a biologist, if you interview a biologist and he asks you, okay, what is a pig, then why do you think about women insulting men? That's like a weird place to go, right?
because I'm involved in men's rights activists. I mean,
Sure,
you're
but you should
bringing
be
a
able
man to
to,
an MRA.
you should still be able to use words outside of women insulting men, right? I mean,
Sure, but I mean, look, is you brought an MRA in to talk about men not being able to get together with women? You know, just
black pill and
failing. Is that it?
incels. Yeah, about black pill and
Okay.
incels. Yeah, because you've also talked
Okay.
about them. You've
Okay. Go
also
ahead.
talked about them, right? So now maybe now I ask you what is an incel. Maybe we misunderstand each other. You can also take it back. You can also change your definition. I mean, I'm just asking you to you because I have heard you use the word interchangeably. Like basically, I have heard you use it in against people in your videos. You've called people incels that are obviously
Yeah.
not incels, and so now I'm confused as to what your definition is. And at least for this conversation, since our topic is going to be probably mostly about incels and a lot about incels, I would like to
Actually,
just get a
you're
clear
wrong.
definition from you
You're
what
wrong
an
about
incel
some
is.
guys I called incels. I actually mean the regular term. Like I
Okay,
know you're
yeah.
not getting laid.
Okay, might
So
be. Yeah.
sometimes,
All right, yeah, that's what I mean. You're flip flopping between these two definitions, and so I would like to
well,
get a clear maybe commitment to one definition for this conversation, so it really makes sense, because otherwise I can't work with both definitions. I have to know which one you're using, right? If we are talking to each other. Is that
Okay,
fair?
so if you just
Yeah.
want to talk about regular incels,
Yeah.
like the actual, let's just do that then.
Okay, so to you, so that's why I'm asking. And even with actual incels, like even if we take it away from the definition you gave before, it's still a word that is like has different meanings for different people, just as you just outlined before, right? So for some people, incels are men that can't get laid or can't get a romantic partner. For other people, it's people with a certain ideology, right? That
Oh,
into the incel ideology. So I'm asking you, what is your definition of incel? So what do you think about that?
oh, well, I already told you what mine is, but you don't want to go with that one. So let's just use the regular one,
Okay,
right? So
it's really different. I mean, do you, is
we
that
don't have
part
to
of?
use that if you're not, you can use whatever is appropriate, right? So if you're just talking about regular black pill guys that say, oh, they're having trouble, just use the regular definition. Just say, yeah, they're just guys who can't can't get the girl.
Okay,
Just
that's your
use it
regular
the
definition. Why not just say that? I mean, you have a regular, because for some people, that regular definition, that's what you call regular definition, is not the regular definition. For some people, it's people, incels are men who can't get laid and are adhering to a certain ideology, right? So, but that doesn't seem to be the case for you, right?
I don't see any reason why I limit myself to just the one definition, unless you're talking about a specific topic. So
Mm-hmm.
you can say, okay, let's talk about the incel version where just guys are having a hard time getting together with a girl. That's it.
So if I ask you, uh, I mean, I could just ask you without using the word, obviously, because now I'm basically not able to really meaningfully use the word. But what do you think, according to your worldview and all of the? I mean, I'm here. I called you here to talk about incels and the black pill as a social commentator, but of course, I know that you have a certain ideological background with you, and I obviously also want to hear it through your lens. So, in through your lens of as an MRA, what are the causes of inceldom, and what's the situation? How would you describe it?
Well, the most simple is men and women have a bias towards women and a bias against men. I'd say it's beyond that. I mean, this has been scientifically, researched. And so that's where all of men's issues come from, period. It's just, well, I should say all of them, all the gender issues, where they come from. This is the reason why men have to bribe a woman into their lives. Women actually prefer other women's company over men, and men have to bribe women into their lives. So that's why you see the bride price go higher and higher as first world. If you see third world countries become first world countries, and it becomes safe, that country becomes safe and wealthy, divorce rates rise up. They rise because the women aren't really interested in being with the men for themselves. The men have to keep bribing them, right? So you see it in like China. They say China's divorce rate going through the roof. Of course, because China just keeps getting wealthier and a better place to live. So the women who never wanted to be with the men in the first place ditch them. And that is universal, which is a very hard thing for men to deal with. I mean,
But
that's
there,
why do you think inceldom is so high now? More so in this generation than the past ones, right? It's because everything's just gotten better and better. And the gals can finally say, well, my choice is, if I had my way, is just to have a good life where I'm hanging around with my girlfriends who I really respect and like, and maybe occasionally rub
so
one out with some guy that I find sexy, or maybe have a male servant, male orbiters, that sort of thing. And men don't want to deal with this. It's very painful to deal with. The idea, because men worship women. They go through hell to get
I,
together
I
with
don't
women.
I don't I don't get it. I mean, they're getting divorced, but I mean, people still have, I mean, they marry less and they're getting divorced. That's correct, but it's not like they're staying alone, right? It's like people are getting divorced and then marrying again and getting divorced again and getting married again, having boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And also that kind of assumes what you're saying is that that women don't enjoy monogamy. First of all, that women don't
They don't.
enjoy intimacy. They don't enjoy sex,
They
basically.
enjoy intimacy. However, it's usually
They wait.
relegated to other,
They don't enjoy
other
friendship.
women is who they
They
want to be.
they
Yeah,
don't enjoy emotional comfort from men. They don't enjoy all of any of these things. Basically, that's what you're saying. And I don't know. It seems I don't know. No,
they love intimacy with other women.
why
That's
not
who
with
they're
other
friends with
men? Why not with other men?
because women don't like men. That's it.
Do you see how that's really hard to? I don't know. Like,
I know it's hard. That's why. Think
no,
about it
I
this
don't. Do
way.
you see how that's like very that's not what you can observe on the street, and
Oh
basically
yes, I
what
can.
you're
I
saying, you're
observe it all the time.
no,
Observe
but
up
you're saying
close.
that's they don't
Yes,
enjoy it. Like, none of them enjoys that. That's what you're basically saying. And you could go
that
out on the street. You're in Canada right now, right? You could go out on the
yeah.
street and you can see couples holding hands, right? And cuddling and talking to each other when they are emotionally distressed, and relieving their, like, comforting each other and stuff like that. You see all of these things, and you're basically saying that it's all just for money, basically, and material
Well,
reasons.
hold it now.
But that's
What you're
what you said. You
forgetting
said bribe,
is,
right? You said that because of the wealth, that's not
yeah,
there anymore.
a long-term relationship demands a bribe.
And
Now,
wait 1 second. And we are seeing that in first world countries where there is no need for that, right? In Germany, we have, like, social security, so you're basically never starving if you are mentally in a good state, and if you're a German citizen and stuff like that. So there is basically no
okay,
reason.
no matter what country you're in, look at the homeless population. Almost entirely male every time.
Yeah.
If women love men so much, how come they don't run to these homeless men and say, I really like you. I'm really turned on by men. I want you to be in my life. Come live with me, which men will do to homeless women, especially if they're pretty and young. They'll snatch them right up,
Yeah, because they
right?
want.
So,
Wait, you're
yeah.
jumping from topic to topic. Can you please first explain?
No, no,
I
this actually in,
can
entails what we're talking about because we're
can you
talking
first
about, are women interested in men in the same way that men are interested in women? And the
why
answer is no.
wait, you're changing the topic.
No, no,
Why are
no.
we
This is the,
can you answer
go
this
ahead.
question? Why are we
Oh,
seeing a wealthy woman cuddling and being emotionally and physically intimate with men? Very high status woman, very wealthy woman doing that. Why do we see that?
oh, with younger guys or just men in
Doesn't
particular?
matter. You're saying that they don't like men. You didn't say younger, older. You didn't say anything about that. You just said men.
Okay,
Why
okay.
do we see that?
That for one thing, how often does that happen?
You don't see wealthy. You don't think that there is. I mean, I know a lot of wealthy women that are really high up in status, and they all have a boyfriend or are married, or and they
Well,
you
like
see
I
them
said,
share
they can get
intimacy.
turned on by a guy, and they might like some company from the guy, but their real
I thought they don't like
intimacy
men.
is
Why would they enjoy
okay.
that?
Let's put it this way. That hand holding that you're talking about doesn't last very long, does it?
Doesn't
How
matter. You said, why would
it
they
has
enjoy
a
it?
window.
What? I thought you don't like men. Why would they do it even for a short period of time? And they hate men. They don't like it.
Well, women, there is a love bond that happens that lasts maybe 6 months to maybe 3 years if you're really lucky, and it ends. And that's why you have men get together with women, and then what happens?
So they do like men, but
The
just
marriage
periodically.
becomes sex.
So they do like
The
men,
marriage becomes sexless.
but they
The
do.
intimacy dies.
But so they do like men, but just periodically, and then they find a new one, right?
Yeah, they jump from man to man.
According to your theory, I'm not even agreeing, but according to your theory, let's just assume that it's correct. They basically love men for 6 to 6 months to a year, and then they love the next man. But I can't see that it's true what you said before, that they don't really like it. They just do it for the material benefits that it brings them.
In general, that's true. I
That's
mean, look how many.
that's a contradiction, right? You can't say that
Not
they just
really.
do it for material reasons and then they do it because of love bonding, 6 months to a year. How is that compatible
Sure, I
with
can
each
say
other?
that.
How is it
Sure, I can
compatible?
say
It
that.
doesn't make
Look,
any sense.
of course it does.
How?
Of course it does.
Explain it.
Look, just because some woman falls in love with you temporarily
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean she respects you. These same women will turn
But
around, divorce you, and make you pay child support.
but in that time where
What?
she loved, in that time where she loved me, she didn't hate me, right?
So you're willing to sell out your whole life for a small window of fake intimacy, you
I'm not
know?
willing to
I
do
mean, what?
anything. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. What you're saying doesn't make any sense because you're saying that they
It
hate
makes
men.
perfect sense.
Wait, you said they hate men. They just do it for the
What do you mean
physical. Please,
I'll
let
tell
me
you
just
what.
rephrase what your statements.
Okay.
Just a second. You say they hate men. They don't really want to be with men. They're just with men for getting basically money from them, right? And benefits from them. And then I
Well, it
ask
could
you,
be
okay,
more than
wait,
money.
that's what you
The
said.
bride
You
takes
can
on.
disagree. You can disagree with me, but
Okay.
I just have to because you're trying to derail here. Okay, so you said they don't like men. They just there for the bribe, right? Uh, then I ask you, what about women that don't need the bribe? Why do they engage in intimacy? And then you say, yeah, okay, they actually love you for a certain period of time. So then what you said before was not true, right? So they don't only do it for money, they also do it for the 6 months to 1 year period that you're talking about. They also do it for that, right?
No, they disappear after that.
It doesn't matter
That
what
time
they do
frame.
afterwards. In that time, you're incorrect, right? So your first statement that they only do it for that was wrong, right? That's just basic logic.
No, not dude. No, look.
If
Let me put it this way.
it's funny.
Look, feminism. Women will take up feminism naturally, right? Feminism is a hate movement. You'll say some lie, like there's some wage gap that never existed. It's really an earnings gap. The average woman snatches onto that and says, hey, you're right. And the reason why they do is because they never liked men.
Why are you changing the
Whereas if
topic
you
though?
look at the average man, hold it now, if you look at the average man and introduce men's rights activism, they reject that. They reject that because they do not want to believe, they do not have an innate hatred of women. They worship women. They said, no, for me to engage in men's rights is to fight against women. And so they're just never going to go for that. And that's why the MRA, or the MRM, I should say, has been spinning its wheels for 50, I'd say even 60 years now, since the 70s, so 50 years. The average guy avoids it. The only reason I got into it is I saw a woman talking about men's issues, and a woman gave me permission to think about it. That is the mindset of the average guy. Because men worship women, and we do not want to see them as our enemy. Women jump to feminism in a heartbeat because they love to see us as their enemy. They
Do you
see us
think
as opponents of the other team, members of the other team. That's how we are viewed,
do you see
right?
how would you at least, I mean, we can change the topic, but can you at least acknowledge that you've completely changed the topic now? I asked you to reconcile. I mean, we can change the topic. It's all right. We can move on from that. But
The topic is
if you tell
you're
me,
trying to say that I'm saying
wait,
that women do not like men.
that's what
And
you said,
you're
right?
bringing in this idea that, oh, there's this temporary love bond,
You
therefore
said
it's
that. I
untrue.
didn't say
And
that. You
that's not
said
the
that. You said that. You said that. I didn't even say that. I don't even believe in that. You said that.
you don't think there's any temporary love bond?
Yeah, I do, but I don't think it's between just from woman to man, and it's way more complicated than that. But it's not even about that. I asked you about incels. Why do
Oh,
incels
let's go
exist?
on there.
I asked you why incels exist, and then you basically said because women don't really want to be with men. Women just want to
That's right.
get stuff from men, so material goods
Yeah.
from men. So then I asked you, okay, why do we see, you included, so much intimacy and love bonding between
I don't see a lot of
women,
intimacy. I don't know where you're from,
women that
but I'm
are
telling you right now,
between
I don't
women
see
that.
it.
Do you see women that are wealthy?
What I see
Do you
is
see? Can
that
you
the
say yes or
average.
no, please? If you're already cutting me off, then you can at least please say yes or no.
Okay,
Can
okay.
you
Do I see
can you
women wealthy?
do you
No, I
see
don't
wealthy
see.
women? You don't
No.
believe that wealthy women exist?
Are you asking you? So you asked me if women are wealthy?
No, I'm asking you if you see in your day-to-day life, do you see
Yes.
women with big wealth or high status women in a sense, in a material sense?
Do I see them? Well, they
Yes.
do exist. Yes. What
Yes.
about it?
Yes. And
Okay.
do you see them engage in emotional relationships with men?
No.
Okay. And I think that
There, I've
99%.
answered your question honestly.
Okay.
Now what?
Do you see them, engage in physical bonds with
No,
men?
not really.
Okay, so you don't believe that. Okay, do you believe they exist? Is it just because you don't go out, or you just don't see them, or do you think they exist?
I don't go out. You mean I didn't touch grass?
No, I'm asking you. I mean, it's really stunning. I mean, it's pretty stunning for, I think, most people also that are watching, that you seem to not be aware of wealthy women that are also in relationship with men, let it be emotional or physical, sexual.
I don't see them anywhere.
Okay,
I don't know what you're
okay,
talking about. I don't see them anywhere.
okay. So, do you believe they exist? Do you believe that
No.
wealthy women that have sex with men exist?
Sex and intimacy may not be
Yes.
the same thing,
I'm asking you
right?
for both. I mean, either or. I mean, you can choose.
Yeah. Intimacy, no. No. Women
Okay,
aren't
but
into
sex,
intimacy.
but sex.
Sex, or
Okay, so
they,
you
they
don't
can
see.
rub it out. They can get lusty.
What? They can what?
They can engage in lust, yeah.
Okay, so
Look at the idea
wait,
the idea that
wait,
men just sexually
wait.
use women.
That's the moment where you're contradicting yourself,
How so?
which means, because that means that they also want men for sex and not only for bribe for material goods, right? I mean, most people, I think no one believes that
That's not liking men though, is it?
they don't. No, that's means, I didn't say that's liking men. I think that they want way more from men. I think they want emotional intimacy and blah blah blah. I didn't say that, but we're not even talking about that. Even if I agree with everything that you're saying, they don't only want men for money and for bribery. They also want them for sex, according to you, right?
Hold it now.
According to
A
me, for
bride
even way
doesn't
more, but according to
look,
you,
a bride does not always be monetary, right?
I
So there are
specified many
other forms
times.
of bride.
Okay, but then they like men, but just physically. That's what you mean, right? So they don't. So you said they don't like men. They just want the
They,
bribe. They just want the bribe.
yeah.
So the bribe, even though I've specified many times in the last 10 sentences, I've specified every time physically, materially, like money wise. But now okay, we can also include sexual component into the bribe. So they do like men, but just sexually. Is that what you're saying? Because I've heard you say many times that they also don't like men sexually, but yeah.
Well, to tell you the truth, even that, I mean, that's where sexless marriages come from. Matter of
You
fact,
just
I
said
did a video not long ago.
you're
If they
contradicting
like,
yourself.
if women, I'm not a contradiction. Look, if sexless marriages wouldn't exist if women were into sex with men. It's
You
that
you just
simple.
said you
That's
just
not a
said the wealthy
contradiction.
woman. You just said you see wealthy women having sex. You know that wealthy women have sex. You acknowledge that this exists,
It's
right?
apparent, yeah, women do have
So
sex
why
with
do they
men,
do it
but
if
that
they
doesn't
if they
mean
don't?
that's not their main desire, though.
Why do they do it?
That's not a,
Why do they do it?
well, well, usually it's to get the guy. Same reason to have a baby. It's to get the guy into a relationship where the
They don't
man
want
is
the
locked
guy.
down.
Why do they want the guy? They're wealthy.
They
They
don't
don't
want the
need.
guy. They want his usefulness,
Well,
right?
she's already wealthy, right? She
Oh, you
doesn't
keep
need.
talking about women. What? I don't see these wealthy women you're talking
You
about.
don't believe
Sorry,
they
all I've
exist?
got is your words,
You
dude.
don't believe that
I don't
wealthy
see.
women have sex? You don't? Do you believe that wealthy women exist?
They exist.
Okay.
I
Do
don't
you
know
believe
what you come
that
up
they have
with.
sex? Do you believe that they have sex?
Occasionally they get horny. Yeah,
Okay. Why? Okay. And
that's not liking
why are you
men, though, dude.
saying? Why are you saying?
That's
Why are
not
you
liking
saying?
men.
I don't see wealthy women having sex, and then when I ask you, do you say yes?
You're trying to convert it into something else that it's not. Women
I've
don't
never
like
said
men.
anything
Just
about liking men.
just
I'm
because a
just saying.
wealthy woman gets
Not.
horny,
I'm
that
not
doesn't mean
saying.
she likes the men she's
I,
banging.
I'm not even. I never said liking men. I'm just saying that's not the only reason. That money is not the only reason why they are with men.
It's not the only
Even
drive. Yeah, that's true.
okay, so they also like sex. They also want sex from the man. Is that what you're saying?
Okay,
Yes.
sure.
So they like men at least physically, sexually, right?
Yet at the same time, you're talking about incels. How come incels exist if women were so into sex with men?
I'm asking. I'm telling you. If you want to change the topic, that's completely all right.
I'm not
But we have
changing
to
the topic.
acknowledge it.
I'm bringing it back to a topic. You want to talk about incels.
Yes,
Why
I
do
want
they
to,
exist? Women are really into sex with men,
but I
right?
can't go over your inconsistencies without even acknowledging, at least
I don't have
acknowledging.
any inconsistent.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that, but okay. So you are saying that the reason why you know why we got here, right? Because you're saying that the reason why incels exist is because they don't like men. Because women don't like men. They don't want men.
That's right.
And that would of course also mean that uh incels are all poor, right? Because the bribe basically they could bribe a woman to be with
No,
them.
because one of the bride price. Why do women like tall men? Because they can beat up on other men. Women love attack dogs. So if
They
you
don't.
can see women get together with poor thugs because they say they like the idea of the thug being an attack dog for them. It's that simple. It's just another form of bribe. They're not interested in the thug as a human being.
But they could
Why
also
do you
pay
think
just pay
why
people for doing that, right?
you could, sure, if you were
So
wealthy enough.
so if they why do they have to sleep with a man just to get
They
a
don't.
attack
But
dog?
the women are turned on by men's violence.
Ah,
Why do
okay.
you think?
So there is a
Yeah.
turn. There is a sexual component where they are enjoying the company of the man,
But
right?
that has nothing to do with liking the man himself.
I didn't
It
ask
has
that.
nothing to do with
I
liking him
asked
as a
you,
person.
is there a sexual component? So are they sexually turned on by men?
Well, I got to say, it's up to you. Where do you
You
think the
keep saying that
incels
they
are?
are, and then you say that they are not.
They aren't in general.
But
Women
then
generally
I
don't.
press you, and then you keep saying that they are. I ask you, why don't they pay someone, if they're so turned off by men? Why don't they just pay someone to be their attack dog? And then you say, yeah, because they're turned on. And then I ask you, so they are physically attracted, and then you say no. And then I ask you, why don't they pay someone? Then you say because
So
they're
you
sexually
want
attracted.
me
Then I ask you
to say
why
everything
it's just
100% across the board, right? But you can't explain where incels come from. If women are so turned on by men, where do the incels come from?
I'm asking you what's happening.
That's where I'm putting it back to you
Yeah, but with
because
your explanation doesn't make any
for
sense.
me to be, it makes a perfect sense.
It's contradictory. I just explained the
No,
contradiction to you. I asked you why do they if they want attack dogs. You tell me that they're only interested in bribes, okay? In
yes,
monetary bribes, right?
an attack dog. An
Wait,
attack dog is a.
let me please rephrase it. If you're already derailing, let me please rephrase it
I'm
because
not
it takes.
derailing it. I'm
I mean, you are
qualifying it.
okay. If you are, I ask you why do incels exist? You say because they don't like men, they just want the bribe.
That's, that's
Okay,
right.
okay. And then I ask you, okay, why do we have wealthy women in relationships? Or why do we have wealthy women that have sex? Right? And then you say they don't exist. Okay, we stopped there. I said okay. Then I ask you, okay, then this would mean that there can't be any poor incels, right? And then you say, yeah, but they also want attack dogs. They also
Yes.
sleep with poor poor tall guys. And then I'm asking you, okay, why do they have to do that? Why do they could also pay this guy, this poor tall guy, to be their attack dog? And then you say, yeah,
Right.
they don't do that because they're also sexually turned on. And then that means that women are also turned on by men, right? That's not the only reason why they sleep with men, is the bribe in a sense of monetary, but also because of the sexual gratification that they get from men. That's
Hold it. You're
also,
talking about the bribe of being an attack dog. See? If it wasn't a bribe, then they would be turned on by small guys, right? They'd be turned on by all these short guys who are really good looking, and they aren't
if I
because
ask
the
you that,
bribe isn't
you're
there.
saying that they're not turned on. That's what you're basically saying. Are women sexually interested in men?
A woman can compartmentalize, sorry, I'm going to screw up that word. They can put it aside. They can look at a guy who they're sexually attracted to and say, I might be attracted to this guy, but I don't want him because he's low status, right? That's something men don't do. We don't care about a woman's status, right?
What is the
And
reason
that's
why?
part of, yeah. We can, a rich man will look at a woman who's a bar waitress and he'll still be attracted and he'll go for it, right? This is why women want to harm men. When women get drunk, for example, and give into their lust, when they sober up,
So they have
they
lust.
want to harm the man. They
Okay,
want
so
to
they have
harm the man
lust.
because they don't like the man.
Okay, so they
Do you
have lust.
understand that?
So they have lust.
They have lust, but that's not liking men.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they have lust. They like men sexually, right? You don't have to generalize it. I mean, not liking in sense of, I don't know even what that means, but liking sexually, right?
What
So
it
that's not
means
the
is they don't
only.
like you as a
So
person.
so they.
They don't
It
like
might not
you.
mean
They
that
don't share
I
with your humanity.
okay, that's all right. But at the end of the day, it's not just for monetary gain. It's also for sexual gain, right? Which you, according to you. So they want men sexually or monetarily, but both, right?
It's also they like men's violence too, right? And they like his
Can
status.
you
They'll
just say
actually
yes
get
or no?
closer to
Because then
looking.
we can move on from that.
No, because there's more to it than that. It's not a yes or no question. You're asking me what women are turned on by, and I'm answering
No,
you.
I'm asking you, are women also sexually turned on by men? Are women also interested? Is women's interest in men also in, can it also be sexual? That's what I'm asking you. Because
Yes, but that
before you
doesn't make.
said it's just a
When I
bribe.
say women don't like men,
Yeah.
right? Okay, again, I'll put it to you. Where do all the incels come from if women are so interested in sexual with men, right?
So now you're again saying that they're not interested sexually, right?
That's right, because what I say, they
Oh my god.
decompartmentalize. They turn around and say, I might be sexually interested in this guy, but I'm not because he's low status and I reject him. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely not. I mean,
Oh,
it's. I mean, Trevor, I'm really sorry, but this is like, you're contradicting yourself in every statement that you do.
no, I'm
I
not at
mean,
all.
you're saying that you. I'm asking you where incels come from. Incel means sexless male, right? Sexless males.
Right.
That's what it means. And then you're saying because they don't like men. So that's what. So it obviously, when you say answer it like that,
Okay.
not liking men. Wait,
Where
wait.
do you
When you
think they
say
come from?
not liking men, it's also including sexually, right? Because that's a big part of inceldom, right?
Right.
But then, and you generalize, you basically say that's valid for
Right.
every male and female relationship. The only reason why women sleep with men is to bribe them to get something else from
Right.
them. So, and then I'm asking you, why are they no poor, uh, why are they rich incels, right? Why are they incels that have money, right?
Right. They're a rich guy. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
Because
why?
women aren't particularly interested in men, right? They don't want us for their company, right? They might not be attracted to that guy. That's what when I ask you, okay, where do the incels come from? You never answer. because then
I
you
mean,
might have to deal
I've
with your
talked
own
about this
contradiction.
extensively on my channel already, but I can lay
Okay, you can
down.
talk about it
I
now.
can
Go ahead.
lay it my theories. I can give you my theories or what I've
Sure, go
found
ahead.
out about or what I've heard from as the most
Sure.
plausible things. I mean, one part of it
Okay.
is monogamy. There's basically two parts to it, in my opinion.
Right.
One part is monogamy breaking up, right? So before, everybody was getting married, everybody was having a partner. So why are you looking that way? Why are you trying to
Well,
what's
so
you're asking me,
monogamy monogamy breaking up is women not liking men. If they liked them, the mob they wouldn't be monogamy would drop out. You know, it's that simple. But anyway, you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Canuck. So okay, monogamy. Go ahead.
And the other part is that women are interested in men. I think it has evolutionary reasons that are higher in basically most aspects. So they want a guy that is equal their size or greater or equal than in terms of size, in terms of status, in terms of income, in terms of education, in terms of strength. And so with women getting more and more educated and with women earning more and more money, basically their pool of partners that they're attracted to also reduces significantly. So that's basically two parts of the issue, quote unquote. And it's basically just we're basically kind of going back to the way it was before there was strict monogamy. So before the institution of marriage, right now, and in that world, basically, only a small amount or a smaller amount of guys was able to attract the females in a social group. But obviously, that's just a theoretical construct, and that is, in my opinion, just valid for a very small minority of guys in our current society. So because monogamy is still pretty big in every country in the world. So I think that monogamy has been weakened to a certain extent, but now we've replaced it with serial monogamy. So this mechanism, although in theory it would explain a certain extent, but in practice it's a very low percentage of men that are affected by this.
So
I
you're
think
talking about serial monogamy. You mean like get divorced and get together again
yes,
with another person?
yes.
Okay. You'll notice that at least 2 out of 3 of the divorces are initiated by the woman
Mm-hmm.
because it's the woman who wants to bail. It's women that don't like men. The men usually would rather stay with that one woman for a very long time, if not all their lives. It's the women who dump the men. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
What does that prove?
It proves that women don't want to be with men, and
but
men
then
want to be with.
they get together with another man, right? It's not that they all become lesbians, right?
I don't know about lesbians, but they get together with another man. It's just that they're bored of the first man because they were
So
never
how
interested
can you
as a person,
if
right?
I leave my pasta and leave the rest there, 90% of it there, and go to another plate and eat some more pasta, can you say that I don't like pasta just because I left that one pasta?
You don't value it, that's for sure.
I don't care.
I mean,
You
are
don't care
men
that I don't value that individual plate of pasta, but it doesn't mean that I don't value pasta, right?
right? So all you're saying is a woman found another man to bribe her. So you like
But
bribes. That's all.
we've already went through that. I mean, you can't
That's
say that
right. That's right.
you keep
It's still
changing
a
this.
bribe.
We
But
can
are there
talk
still
again about the
compromises?
bribe. Do you want to talk about the bribe again?
Well, you keep bringing it up. You're
No, I
saying,
don't.
why do women
I'm
jump to
asking
another
you.
man?
You're saying that divorce proves that women initiating divorce proves that they don't like men. So and then
That's
I'm
right.
asking you. So who are they getting with after divorcing their husband? And then
Yeah, they're
obviously
using another man.
most of them get together with another man. So then I'm
They use
asking you.
another
So does that make sense to say that if you leave one man for
using a
another,
man is
it does
not
it make
liking him.
sense? Does it make sense to
Yeah,
say that they don't like men if
using
they
a
trade one
man
man for another?
is not like that's right.
That doesn't make any
Using a
sense.
man isn't liking him.
Yeah, but then we come to the bribe part, right? So using men,
Yes.
that's a completely different topic. You then
Oh, really?
you extract them not liking men from them getting something other than the relationship
Yes.
from that relationship. That's what you're using as proof of women not liking men, right? That's your proof. But you started out that conversation by saying that women divorcing men is proof of women not liking men. So now you're switching
Yeah.
to a new argument, which is a completely
Oh,
separate
really?
one. It's a completely
Oh,
separate one. Bribe is an argument for women not really liking men. Divorce is an
yeah.
argument for really women not liking
That's
men.
right.
These two arguments have nothing to do with each other. Although when I disprove your first argument, you flip
You
flop to
haven't
the
disproved
second
it.
argument. I mean, I did with the
No.
pasta argument, right? It's the pasta paradox that you got trapped into.
It's like, it's not pasta. Look, if women liked a man, they would stay with him. They wouldn't divorce him, and they wouldn't
if
need a bribe from the next man,
if you would have
right?
liked the pasta, if you would have liked the pasta, you would have eaten the whole pasta, right? But then I went and ordered another different pasta. Would you say that I don't like pasta?
Mm. Well,
Would you
being
say that?
eaten and you thought, yeah,
Would you say that?
your analogy is just wrong.
No,
Your analogy is
would you
just bad
why?
because it is.
Why?
It's it's
You have to
look.
substantiate that with an argument.
A woman divorces a man because she never wanted to be with him. She finds another guy who has to bring money or fame or wealth to bribe her again. None of that says I like you as a person or I
That
value you as a person.
that has nothing to do with that. You just said
It has everything to do with it.
You said woman divorcing men is proof
Uh,
of woman not
right.
liking men.
If they wanted to be, if they liked men, they wouldn't be the ones to initiate it as much. It's the woman who wants to get out of the marriage.
They don't
Women
like.
marry, women marry knowing that they're going to get divorced. If you took divorce off the table, women would not get married.
If I want to, I have a question for you. If I'm
Or
with my if I'm with my girlfriend and then I'm like, I also want to have sex with other girlfriend, with other woman, right? Is that, and then I
sure,
leave my girlfriend for that?
yes.
Is it because I don't like women? Did I leave my
Oh,
girlfriend
you
because I
would.
don't like women?
Yeah. So,
That's a
well, you
question.
every
Did
man
I
wants.
leave my girlfriend
Sure.
because I don't like women? If I left her
Oh
to
no,
have
you're a
sex with
man.
other
You love
women?
women.
No,
You're a man. You love women.
but according to you, so if a man leaves a woman, that's an argument for love. If a man leaves a woman for another woman, that's because he loves her. If a woman leaves a man for another man, then she hates women as she hates men.
In this case, yes, I'd have to
Okay,
say.
okay, then there is some other argument. Yeah, then it's not even an argument what you're saying. Then there is some other thing because of which that's the case, but we can't even see that from that argument, right?
So you're leaving your girlfriend or just having sex with other women?
No, I'm leaving my girlfriend for other woman or for
Right.
one other woman, right?
But you see, the other women you get together with, do they have to bribe you? No. So
What does
it's
that have to
there's
do
a
with it?
totally
Anything?
different, totally different. You're not getting together with these other women because they make good money. You want to be with them. So for you not to see, pretend that you don't see this
Do you
difference.
think?
I'm
Do you
sorry.
think that?
That's
Do you
just
think that? Do you think that these divorces are always because they found someone who's wealthier?
not wealthier. They're simply tired of the man that they were never in love with in the first place. And so they
So
divorced
they
him.
go to another man. Why do they go to another
Yep.
man?
Oh, just someone new.
Okay, so they like men.
No.
They just like them
Using
temporarily. Oh
using
my god.
someone is not liking someone.
Yeah, liking in the sense of wanting, right?
Okay. And
What
then
do
I
you
keep
mean when you say
saying,
liking? What do you mean? What would be a pure form of liking in your?
okay, this was it. When you see two women together at a cafe talking, there's no men around, just women. They're there because they like one another. They want each other's company. They're the people they want to talk to. They're the ones that respect one another as women. where are their men? Their men are usually off working.
Can
Men
you
are mean.
maybe just answer it just like without the just in a general sense? What would be a how would you determine that your friend likes you? It's like enjoying your company, right? As you've said, right? Enjoying your company. Is that
Right,
right? And
right.
so but we could always twist it out to be like, yeah, he's using you for having fun and he's using you for uh good conversation, right? So we could always extract some sociopathic way of seeing it from that narrative, right?
You can struggle with it, but I mean, this is just the way that things are going out. Like you say, okay, you say these incels around because of monogamy is disappearing. How does that make them sexless, though? I mean,
Okay,
just
so you don't
because
want to
there's less.
engage. You don't want to
What's
engage
that?
in. You don't want to give me a definition of what liking means, even though you're using it. I mean, what does liking mean? What's the definition of liking?
No, well, I just gave you. They don't want. They don't necessarily want men's company.
I
It's
asked
that
you what
simple.
is the definition of liking, and you say they don't want men's company.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's up to you. You can struggle with the definition if you like, but
You you don't believe that mm, you have to know what the words mean that you use.
if if women liked men, they wouldn't divorce them and make them pay child support. It's that simple. And there wouldn't be incels at the rate that there are. And men wouldn't be working down mines while women have the easy jobs. And men wouldn't be going to war while women stayed home safe. If women liked men, they would say, no, you're not going to war because I love you and I value you. It's that simple.
Trevor, we have really different views on the world, right? You must agree with that, right?
Mm.
Okay. So what do you think is a way that we can have a dialogue with each other and either I convince you or you convince me, right? So what's the I mean the purpose can't be that you just say random stuff and I just say random stuff.
What I'm saying isn't random.
Okay, but
I'm just
you're basically
describing
not.
things as they
I
are.
mean, you're not. If I ask you uh, a question and you're not answering at all what I'm asking you, that's kind of just saying random stuff, right? You could also say I don't want to
Not
talk about
really.
that. I mean, if
No,
you
you
ask me what
actually,
time is it and I just say something that has nothing to do with that, isn't that kind of random stuff? Isn't that kind of a definition of random
no,
stuff in a dialogue?
I'm not
Okay.
giving you random stuff. I say women don't like men. I say show you why I believe that
Okay, and
by their action,
and I ask you what
right?
is liking and what's your definition of liking?
Well,
Like, how
that's
would you?
and I got to say is I don't have a definition. I just
Okay.
go by what how people behave.
Okay, can we maybe yeah, because I mean liking to me
Yeah,
means like
yeah.
for example the way you described it earlier, right? The way you described it,
Oh,
if
well,
I would
you're not giving me a definition.
no, I don't understand your
You're going
definition
to
to
use
be
an example like me,
I,
right?
I'm not you said not liking, right? So I can
Right.
tell you how I would understand it. So for example, if I don't enjoy anything about your personality, anything about your body, anything about anything that is related to you, right? And I just want to get
Right.
money from you. That would be a case where we would say, okay, they don't really like men, they just want their money, right? So then I could agree, like we could agree on the definition, right? We could say, okay, liking means not wanting sexually anything, not liking their body, not liking their character, not liking their conversation, anything, right? That's what that means. But the moment we find some characteristic about men that they do like, then this concept breaks down and it somehow they do like men. Maybe they don't like him for good reasons, or maybe they don't like him for enough reasons, right? Maybe saying that they are interested sexually isn't enough for you, right? It's not a good kind of love or affection, but it is a form of affection and liking, and I just that's why I disagree with you, right?
Right.
Okay. So why are you not able to I mean I'm just asking for this conversation that
Well,
we're having. Feel like we're
well,
having.
that's what I mean. Well, you didn't give me a definition of liking, though. You asked me
I
for
just
a
did.
definition.
Okay, yeah.
You didn't give a definition. You did what I did. You gave examples, right? Which nothing wrong with that. But you can't turn around and say my examples don't matter. It's not a definition. And then say, here's my definition and give examples, right?
Okay, can I tell you what I mean by like? I can tell you again if you want in a more abstract way. Enjoying a certain aspect of a person is liking that person, right? The more aspects of that person you like, the more you the more aspects of that person you enjoy experiencing, the more we would say you like that person, right?
Right.
Is
So
that fine?
what you're saying,
Would you
sure, but
agree?
let's
Do
put
you
this.
agree or disagree? You don't even care. I feel like you don't even care. You asked me for the definition, but you don't give a shit. I don't know. You don't
I
care.
didn't ask for definition.
You
I'm
just
just
did.
pointing out.
What the
No,
heck?
no, look. You want a definition from me, and I said that's unfair because I give you an example. When I asked you what the definition, you gave examples. You didn't give me a definition any more than I did.
Didn't I just give it
Okay?
to you?
Nope. There was
Okay.
no dictionary definition of like there. That's what you were hoping from me.
Okay.
Now,
Wow, I'm having really big difficulties having this conversation.
okay, let's put this way. If women like men, how come there's divorce rate is so high? Why are there incels? Why are there false allegations? Why are there's child support, which is abuse and slavery of men? And you don't see the other way around. Why do you see
Do you
women
accept?
invading men's
Do do,
spaces and
do
men never do that to women?
because
Men never, if there's a space that women say, this is ours, this is a female only gym, men do not try and break in there. If a man has a male only gym, the women get together and try and get rid of it. Say, sorry, women have to be allowed. Now, that is evidence of real hostility towards men. Women generally don't like us.
do
I
you
know
believe
it's a
that
hard thing to deal with.
you know this conversation is really hard to deal with? But because let me tell you why. Because I feel like you're using words in a very slippery way. Do you agree with my definition of liking that I gave you?
You mean like
Enjoying experiencing certain characteristics of someone.
okay, I'll agree with that.
Okay. So if you say they don't like men as if I mean, the way you're portraying it is basically that if they do something bad, if people do bad things to each other, people do bad things to each other all the time, right? So you can name all of the bad things that women do to men, right? But and then from there conclude that they don't like men because of that. First of all, people to do bad things to people they like all the time. That's
It's
not even a
false
reason.
equivalence. It's false equivalence. Look, what did I say? Women like to invade men's spaces. Men don't invade women's spaces. That's just a fact. And
People,
you just see
men have been going into yoga since the last 10 years as much as like I mean like so many women's spaces have been invaded by
wait,
spinning
wait. So
classes,
you're saying
yoga.
yoga?
Yeah.
Yoga is a woman's space. Who told you that? Yoga was invented by men.
I mean, that's how I grew up. So that was my socialization. That's where in my youth, going to yoga was a gay or a feminine thing to do. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
but if you're trying to tell me there was a yoga room that they said this is women only and men showed up, knowing that it was women only.
That doesn't prove anything. How does that prove anything? How does
It
any of
proves
that proves
the
anything?
attitude the genders have towards one another. Men worship women, so they respect their personal spaces. So if there's a women's only gym that says right on it, this is women only, men leave that alone. If you have a male only gym, women will struggle to get rid of it and say, sorry, either you let other women in or you shut down.
Okay,
That has
so
happened time and time again.
so if I don't let someone in my space, that means I don't like that person.
if you don't, if you should be allowed to have your own space. There's nothing wrong with men
Can you
saying
can
this
you
is a
just say
men's
yes or no?
underball.
Is that true? If I don't like,
But it
if
had
I don't
nothing to
let
do,
someone in
what
my
you asked
space.
had nothing to do with what I said.
No, but your argument is basically because men are not allowed in women's spaces and they're getting into into men's spaces. I mean, my ex-girlfriends have done that many times, right? No, they haven't even like said that. I mean, they're talking to their girlfriends on the phone, right? And I don't even want to hear about it. I don't care. But they're like
Right?
talking like they're talking their stuff, but then she's constantly invading my privacy and she wants to find out what I talk about with my friends when I'm on the phone, right?
But the gym's case isn't
Doesn't mean
just
she doesn't like
being,
me, or maybe it does, I don't know.
well, yes, they're saying your space, I don't respect you as a person. You are not allowed to have that space. I've got it. I'm better than you. I'm entitled to enter your space. Tell me something. Here's nothing. Locker rooms. In the 1970s, women fought to be able to go into men's locker rooms and report. Men weren't allowed to do the same to women's locker rooms. This is an act, a political act of aggression against men. And it shows how women view men. It's that simple because you wouldn't see these double standards.
You think that men not being allowed into women's locker rooms is because women hate men?
Yeah. They said
Okay.
women do not like men. They
I don't
don't
want
want
I don't
us
want
in your
men
space.
going into the locker room of my girlfriend
Why not? They're not going to hurt
because
them.
it's they might.
They are wrong. They
Are you
might.
really serious? Like, is that uh,
So men are harmful to women? No, what men worship women. You don't know what you're talking about.
you
Men adore
think
them.
that I feel like you're a gender abolitionist. Is that possible? Do you want gender completely gone from society?
Look,
You really
these
sound
women and
like
women,
you. Can you
yeah,
answer one question,
sure.
please?
Go ahead.
Do you want gender roles completely to disappear from society? Do you want just every like all genders to be treated completely equally?
Well, let's put it this way. Uh, it doesn't matter what I want. Gender roles are
Oh
enforced
my
by
god.
women.
Oh my god. This is you. I asked you politely, like, can you answer one question, right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I would like to see men's gender roles disappear. That's right.
why
No
only
more going
men's?
to war. No
Yeah.
more, no more bribing women by saying, "Here you go. You can be a housewife while I work."
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. But it's not
Mm-hmm.
up to me
No,
because women make
I
the
didn't
decision.
ask if it was up to you. We can. That's
I'm
such a
adding
problem.
it.
But Trevor,
I
that's a big
already
problem.
answered your
Yeah.
question, dude.
Okay.
I
Okay.
answered your question politely, and I'm adding to it now.
Yeah, but doesn't
Okay?
matter. That's like completely besides the
Does
point.
matter
No,
because
why
you
does it
asked me
matter?
about gender role.
No, I
And I'm
asked you if
telling
you
you
would want
now,
that.
it is not up to men
I
anyway.
didn't. I didn't ask that. I just asked you if you want that, right?
You're asking me whether I would like to see them go, and I said
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
but I can't because it's not up to me.
Yeah. 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 But that's not part of
Okay?
answering the
That's
question, right?
not that's not answering your question.
No, no.
That's
It's not. It's
adding onto it.
just adding something that has nothing to do with it, right?
It has everything to do with it. If I want to see men's gender roles disappear,
How
I got to come to terms with whether it can be done or not.
do you think that I think that? Do you think that I think that you have the power to change gender roles in society?
Nope, because
Okay.
in
So
order to do it, the women have to be on board, and they're not.
okay.
No, house husbands don't exist for a reason. You might find one out of a million,
Wait.
but house husbands don't exist because women, that is their gender role. They don't want men to have it, and they keep men out.
So
Well,
you are against. You are basically a gender abolitionist, and you want uh basically do you want basically men and women to be completely treated equally in society, right? In any regards. So no service or service for both men and women, right? Which I'm also in favor of, right? For I would be
okay,
completely in favor of having it for both men and women.
yeah. Well,
Um,
let's bring it back to the locker rooms, for example.
wait,
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
if you
this is
want,
about
but
this is about
yeah,
gender
all
roles,
right.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, wouldn't guys who go if there were male reporters that were allowed to go in the women's locker rooms, they're not going to hurt them. They're going to interview them just like the women do to the naked men they see in men's locker rooms. So if you have a problem with that, all you're saying is you worship women and men's eyes don't belong on them. Whether they have lust or not, even if they don't have lust, even if it's just a professional thing, men shouldn't be allowed to see the goddess naked, right? And also,
Do
would you
have
hurt
you
a woman?
had? Can I
Yeah,
ask you a
sure.
private question? I mean,
You
have
can
you had
ask
a
me whether I answered it. It doesn't matter.
Of course, you don't have to answer. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Have you experienced a relationship, and have you ever felt jealous in a relationship, or have you ever wanted to your girlfriend not being seen naked by other men, or yeah,
Yep.
being sexually aroused?
And you know something? That is a part of male on male hostility. Because what what would be the great crime of some guy eyeing my girlfriend? Is she going to like rot away from his male gaze?
Did did you ever feel uncomfortable by someone that is that you are deeply? I mean, there's two aspects to it, right? There's one
Sure.
aspect that is like innate, like
Yeah.
animalistic instinct, where you don't want
Right.
basically don't want to share your girlfriend even in a
Exactly.
optical way, right? That's one part of
Yep.
it. But then there is the other part of it where you have where every human being, if man, male or female, has a form of sexual disgust, where you when somebody gets basically sexual pleasure from you that you are not interested in, that you experience sexual disgust, right? Would you agree that, I mean,
Okay.
that there's a scientific basis for that?
Sure. Sure.
So, and I think that that would basically, I mean, if it's my girlfriend, I would have that primarily that animalistic defensiveness about not wanting my girlfriend to be
Sure.
seen by other men naked, right?
There's no logical basis behind it, not
No, I
really.
agree. I don't care about if it's logical or not.
Okay.
It's not
So
just
there shouldn't be
wait,
more.
wait, 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 wait. And then there is a
Well,
second aspect where I don't want my girlfriend to go through that trauma or that negative experience of experiencing sexual disgust from a guy eyeing her and watching her when she's naked, right?
so you're saying that women don't like men sexually? I thought you said they did. Women have disgust about
Are you
men
serious
eyeing
right
them?
now? Are you really serious
You
right
just
now?
look.
Do you know
Why
that situation?
you're
I just explained to you that situation where you have a girlfriend and she goes into the gym
yeah.
and she's with you in a monogamous relationship and she doesn't want,
It's perfectly clear. Yeah. Go
she
ahead.
has, do you think that her having men that she's sexually disgusted by, do you think that proves that she doesn't like men sexually? Like,
Yeah. Why
what are
would
you
she be
talking about?
disgusted? Why would
What
she be disgusted by sexually by other men?
because she's not
I thought she
attracted
liked
to,
it.
she's not sexually attracted to every man.
No, not every man. No.
She's not attracted to men that are not physically attractive to her. She's attracted to men that are physically attracted to her. What's the, I don't get it. Like,
I'm not quite sure what you wanted through this questioning. So, my point
I
is
mean,
that
you are in favor of locker rooms being not separated, right? That's what you're saying. That's what we're
well,
talking about
I'm
right now.
talking about specifically people who are interviewing. That is, it's your job to go into a locker room and talk to the athletes. Now, since women can do that to men, men should be able to do it for women in women's locker rooms. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you saying that
This
they
is a
should? But
professional sport.
didn't you say before? So you are in favor of separating locker rooms, right?
Oh, you mean locker rooms? Yeah, I
So
would
you are in
say that
favor of, because you said before, sorry, but you said before that uh, separating locker rooms was not allowing men inside of women's locker rooms was uh, something done because of hatred for men, right?
I'm talking about a specific case in the 1970s where a woman invaded a man's space saying, I'm a woman, these are naked men, I get to see them no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job.
Mm-hmm. I
and
think
the
that's wrong.
same wasn't done for the men.
Yeah.
None of these male reporters were able to go in. So you got to see there's a double standard there.
Okay, so
That's not the same as me saying that locker room should be,
no.
bisexual or whatever.
Okay, so you are not in favor of separating of not separating. Okay, okay. Then I maybe I
Unisex?
misunderstand you.
You mean like
Yeah,
unisex?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not in favor of that,
Yeah, I
right?
wasn't talking about unisex.
Okay, you're not in
There,
favor of unisex toilets or unisex
well, you could
changing
have
rooms.
them if you wanted them. I think it'd be more dangerous for men than women because that's where women can falsely accuse a man. This
So are
idea
you in
that men
favor?
are more
You have big difficulties answering questions. I'm sorry, but if I ask you, are you in favor because we've already said that you're a gender abolitionist, right? And to a certain extent, I'm with you on that, right? That's a common ground that we can find, right? Because like for example, I'm with you that the double standard there that you were talking about, where it's allowed for the woman to go into the men's changing room, but not vice versa. I agree with you. I would be completely on board with you on that. But
But that's not the same as a
when I ask
unisex.
you,
You
but
do
then when I
realize
ask you, are you in favor of? I mean, since we already said that you're
I
a
am
gender.
neither for or against unisex.
Okay, you are
That's
not.
not my issue, right? If I'm not going to go out and say I want the bathrooms unisex, yet if someone has a unisex bathroom, I'm not against it either.
You
Yeah,
just
I'm
said
pretty
that it's
neutral
more
towards it.
dangerous for men to be in unisex
It
bathrooms
is.
than for
It
women,
is.
right?
Right.
So you think it's
In my
yes.
opinion, it's more dangerous for men. Yeah.
So in a hypothetical world in like 30 years where we would have like unisex bathrooms, you think it would happen like there would not happen any sexual assault cases, but just fake sexual assault claims from women? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know why you have to be so absolute. It's just the rape happens, but it's very, very rare. Whereas false allegations are through the roof. Every time you turn around, there's an article showing some woman lying about some guy. False allegations are common. Sexual assault, the actual like knocking them down and forcing them, that is exceedingly rare. So I mean,
I mean,
men
it's not
are
that.
more
What do you
dangerous.
mean when you say rare? I mean, first
I
of all,
mean
it's
that
not
it's not
only.
common.
I mean, rape in general is. I don't know what you mean when you say uncommon. I mean, what's a rate? I mean, men are really affected by rape as well, right? So it's not like it's a gendered problem. It's I don't know what you would how we would consider something being rare. You can say that there is more. I mean, I don't know how true that is. You can say that there is more allegations of rape than actual rape happening, right?
We probably should wait. We shouldn't go right to the R word. One thing, you probably demonetize your channel.
I don't care.
But the
It's
other thing
that's all
is,
right.
the, the other thing is that you use the proper term sexual assault, and that doesn't necessarily include, not include it, but it doesn't just mean rape. That could be just unwanted touching too, right? So then you might say, oh, we can expand it because sexual assault happens a lot more than pure rape, right? Like that could just even
What are
touching
you getting
somebody.
at? I don't get it. I mean, you're
Well,
saying that rape is pretty rare, right?
let's
You're
yes,
saying
meaning it's
that like
uncommon.
sexual assault is pretty rare, right? That the allegations are wait if you want, we can just say sexual assault to make it broader. Is that
Yeah.
what you ask for?
Well, that's what I
Okay,
mean. It's broader and it might happen more.
okay,
It will happen more often because it includes more than just like pure rape. Like it also
okay.
includes
Yeah,
unwanted
yes, I
right?
agree.
So that might happen more often.
But the
It may
basis
not be
for
the same for
the basis for fake allegations is the actual thing, right? So if the actual thing would never happen, there would be no basis for the false allegation, right?
well, the false allegation is the whole point of it is it never happened. That's why it's a
Yes, but
false
there
allegation.
needs to be a certain amount of real events happening for us
No,
to be able to
not
make a
for a
fake
false
claim, right?
allegation. No,
Why? It's
not
being.
really.
How do you know about the fake allegations?
The
How do
wage
you know
gap.
that the allegations are fake? Wait, before you go there. How do you know that
Well,
the allegations are fake? Because then there is court, then we find out, and then it says, okay, yeah, that would never happen, right? They're lying, or they're saying something that doesn't fit, or they make a medical examination and it turns out that it was fake, right?
Right.
But then there's
Look,
also the cases where it's
if
really
your
happening.
argument is that it happens sometimes, yeah, it happens sometimes,
I mean, it
and
has
it's
to happen
rare.
sometimes. It has to happen sometimes in order for it to have a in order for the fake ones to even work, right?
And this is why I disagree, because
Mm-hmm.
there are feminist claims about men that have never happened. Patriarchy never existed. The wage gap has never existed. Every time, 100%, it's been lies. Now, there are actual sexual assault, but it doesn't necessarily have to exist for falsehoods to be said. That's all I'm saying.
If I mean,
I mean, I agree with you. Sexual assault does happen, right?
yeah,
But it
I
doesn't
mean,
have to exist in order for someone to make up a lie about it, right?
I don't feel like you could. I mean, all the things that you would make up, right, would have to be things that are realistically happening, right?
No, not necessarily. The wage gap is not real. It's never happened.
No,
It's an earnings
that's
gap.
not a fake claim. Something
It is
completely
fake claim.
different. When I go to the police
Oh, no, it isn't.
to make a fake
You're
claim,
saying that
when I go to the
a
police
lie
to
can
make a
be
fake
based on
claim,
something that never happened.
when I go to the police to make a fake claim, for example,
Yeah.
for insurance fraud, right? I want to defraud my insurance company, and then I basically make a claim about something happening to one of my belongings. So
Yeah.
what kind of a story do I tell them? I tell them something that is as close as to reality as possible, right? Something that happens on a regular basis, right?
Yeah. You can
I can't
make a
just
fake.
I
Well,
can't
not
just
necessarily. No. You
yeah,
can make up a lie
yeah.
that involves something that actually happens, but you can also make up a lie about something that never happens. So I can agree
What
with
are
you 100% that
the
it has to be based on
the
reality,
f-
right?
the further away from reality my story would be, the less believable it would be, right? So if I tell them that
People believe in the wage gap.
what does it
People
have to do
believe
with
in the wage
anything?
gap.
What does it have to do with
Well, you
anything?
know what it means. I'm telling you, there are examples where a falsehood doesn't have to be based on anything real.
Is
The lie can
the That's not a fake allegation. The gender pay gap is not a fake
it's a lie.
allegation. Do you know what a fake
It's a
allegation is?
lie.
It's a person going to the police and saying, "Okay, this happened to me and it never happened." Right?
Yes.
Okay. So
So you're
if I do
you're
that,
talking about
what
behind
does
the
that have
lie.
to do with the gender pay gap?
Well, it's just showing you that people can make up falsehoods about things
That's
that are
just a lie.
wrong.
That's not a fake allegation. Or it might be a lie, or it's a misconstruing of evidence or of statistics, but it's not the same
So
thing.
you're just categorizing them as two different things. Is that?
No, I don't get why you even talk about that. I mean, fake allegations. We're talking about fake allegations. You're just trying to derail the conversation. I'm telling you, fake allegations. If you are making a fake allegation, don't you have to be as close as possible to reality? Or the further you go from reality, from what's generally happening, the further away you go from that, the less believable your story is.
Uh, Not necessarily, because look how many men have been shafted by fake allegations. It's obvious that you know people have a bias towards women. They want to believe them. They have a bias against men. They want to believe men are the bad guys. That's why false allegations are work so well. It's not just that they're prevalent; it's that they work with prevalence too, right? It's only recently you see an improvement where guys are starting to say, "Look at all these cases of false allegations,"
You have
right?
all of these cases of priests molesting children in the last 20 to 30 years, right? So when do you think it was easier to make up false allegations for that? Before all of these cases happened, or after these cases happened? Where do you think would people believe you more? In what time period? Before all of these cases came to light,
Uh,
or after they
yeah,
came to
after,
light?
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
after is
after the
easier,
fact.
right? Because there is a real basis for your fake allegation. So you need the real cases for your in order for your fake allegation to work.
Well, I said,
Okay.
sexual assault does happen, but it's very rare.
Okay. So and I'm saying that the reason why these, because you're saying that it's not a problem actually, it's fake allegations. That's the real issue. And I'm telling you that's that there needs to be a real basis for that in order for the fake allegations to even work. So in a world where we wouldn't have the real sexual assault cases, where it would be really absurd for that to happen, we also these fake allegations would not work, right?
Women don't have their own spaces because they're afraid men will sexually assault them. That's just what they say. They just don't like men around. They just don't like men.
They just don't like
They don't
men.
want to share
You
spaces with
still go
men.
with that line, right? So you still want to go with
Yes,
that
because
line.
it's true. Reality demonstrates itself.
Okay. Um I want to talk about something else with you if that's all right.
Okay, good.
Um AI girlfriends.
Yes.
I think that's a topic that you'll be more positive about.
Okay, go ahead.
uh, um, I believe that the most expensive AI girlfriend that you will be able to find on the market in, like, I don't know, 20 to 30 years will be exactly like the woman that you hate so much, and will be, from your perspective,
What?
obviously.
Who told me I hate women? Are you
Okay,
calling me an incel?
wait. Now you're saying that incel is a guy that hates women? Is that your definition of incel?
That's when someone
That's
says, "Hey, you
definitely
hate
not
women," they
mine.
call you an incel.
Most of the
Why did
incels.
you say I hate women?
I mean, because of the things you say about them, right? I mean, I feel like you don't
So
like them,
me just showing the reality of it, or just speaking about the realities, I have to hate them,
but it's
right?
not reality to me. It's like hatred. The moment you say that, it's like the definition of hatred is that it's not reality. If you would just say that, say something about women, which is just, which I would agree with is true, then I would not say you hate them. Obviously, I don't think it's reality what you're saying, right?
But you think I hate women.
Yes.
So me saying women don't like men, that's beyond the pale. That's
No.
totally untrue. But
No. No. No.
I definitely hate women.
No. I think you hate women because um of the
Yeah.
way you see. I mean, let's look at it like this, okay? You have two friends, and how do you determine that one hates the other, right? I mean, you mostly would do it when you start seeing one of them behave really badly towards the other, right? Or if
So I'm
they're,
behaving bad with women?
no,
Is
you're
that it?
not, you're not, no, you're
Okay.
not. That's why continued with or. It's a union basically. So either one is behaving really horribly to the other one, and then you can directly see the hatred, or you see that the things that you hear, the things that one person thinks about the other, and from that you can. So it's really a lot of negative sentences, right? And either these negative sentences are true according to you, or they're wrong. And if there is a similar amount of access to information, then you have to assume that there is some distortion happening in the way that this information is being processed. So I believe that you have the same amount of information and access to the way that women act, and I think that you have a similar access, but uh, your view of them and your interpretation of the things that are happening in society, it is being processed in a completely different way, right? So that's really annoying that these bubbles are happening. I have
It's
to
I'm
turn that
sorry.
off. Uh, and I have to assume that you have an emotional bias, which I would call, if it's extreme, I would call an emotional negative bias, which is really big. I would call hatred.
Okay. Well, they've researched it and find that women have a bias towards their own gender and a bias against men's gender. So going by that, women don't like men. Women hate men according to that same definition.
Yeah, but that's why I included that if the access to information, if we agree on the statements, then there is no. If you, for example, say that that men are, let's say, for example, I have a feminist here, okay? So
Okay.
and she says men are more dangerous than women, right? If she says that, then me, because I look at the society, I also look at society. We both have the same access to information, but I also come to the same conclusion because I also think that men are more dangerous than women. Then obviously I don't feel like that's hatred, right? Because I
You
don't
think
feel
that?
like, because I don't see that there is any distortion from the information processing to the conclusion. There is no distortion happening. But if you say that women are more dangerous than men, then I'm like, okay, that's not fitting. So at the end of the day, it comes down to what I believe to be the truth, right? What I believe to be the facts.
So you think men are more dangerous than women?
Yes, yes.
Well, the evidence doesn't pan out that way.
Okay, and
We
and I
see
think.
women
Mhm,
poisoning men all the time,
mhm.
attacking men with in domestic violence. Women will use implements.
Yeah, we don't
They'll
have
use
to.
like weapons.
I mean, these types of conversations really don't interest me that much because we can go into that, but it's
Well,
not
you
really that
accused me of
interesting
hating
because
women, so you brought it into this.
how
I'm
would you?
sorry.
No, it was just
Shut
an
up.
example on how I would determine if you are full of hate or not,
Right,
right? That's
right.
the way I
But
would
you're
determine it.
trying
There was an
to
example, and it was not something I already told you. It was already baked into the example that I know that you see it differently, right? That was already part of the example. Then we don't have to disagree about. We don't have to get into the debate. We could debate about millions of things like that, right? And do you know what I mean?
just a minute.
Mhm.
I'll be right with you. Just a second.
Sure.
Just connecting.
You're
Doo
just looking up some
doo.
statistic.
I'll be right there. There we are. Ta-da. Go ahead. Anyway, no. Well, here's a stat. Most child
But
abuse
we
is
are
done
not
by single
talking
mothers.
about. We're not talking about that. I just said that you asked me how
Then
I know that you're full of hate, and
stand
I
for someone
answered
full of
you.
violence.
I just explained to you my process. I want to talk to you about AI girlfriends, and I just explained to you my process because I said that you hate women, which was not so smart of me to do. But I just explained to you what my process was on how I find out if you hate women or not. Right?
Right. So anytime a guy speaks negatively about women, they hate them. I mean,
No,
come on, dude.
no, no. If it's not justified, if the negative comment is not justified, and if it's so distorted from what is reality, then I feel like that there is a emotional bias which is negative, and an emotional bias which is negative, I would consider hatred.
Well, dude, I'm a man. I worship women just like you. I just see the reality of it. I
I
spend
mean,
all
yeah,
my day.
you can say that, but that doesn't really mean anything to me. I mean, so there is no argument in there, right?
Well,
You can say that, and I
the
can
argument
believe
is
you, or
you
I
don't
cannot.
see reality as it is.
Sorry.
You don't see a reality as it is.
Okay, okay, but
You say,
yeah.
look, men are more dangerous than women. Then how come there's more child abuse done by single mothers? Some of the most brutal, damaging things to children are done by women. And they also attack the elderly the most. Come on, dude. All you're saying is
I don't see. I don't
women
know
pick
if you
who their
get this.
targets
I
put
do.
their
You,
violence on, you
okay,
know?
first I'm gonna tell you why this is such a boring conversation for me to get in. Do you want me to tell you? I mean, this is, first of all, how would you quantify if I tell you that men rape more, or if I tell you that men kill more, right? Let's say I
They
find a
don't, though.
statistic.
What?
You don't believe that men kill more,
At
that men
best.
engage more in violent crimes.
All you're really saying is that men have to engage in riskier behavior,
Can you
but
answer that?
women do all
Can you
kinds of
answer that
murder.
question, please, sir?
Well, I
Trevor,
am
please.
answering.
Do you believe
I
that men
am.
engage less in violent crime?
The official, like actual murders, I'd have to
Do
look up the
you
stats.
do you believe
Do I believe?
that
Not
men?
anymore.
Do
I
you
used
believe
to.
do you believe that men
No,
engage less? I haven't even asked yet. Do you believe that men engage less in violent, more or less in violent crime? Which one is it?
I would say it's hard to say if they're exact. I'd have to look at the
It's not hard
stats
to
to
say.
see
You
if
can
it's
just look at the stats. And you're
okay.
that's your main thing that you're talking about. How can you not know that stat?
Okay, so you're not going to include poisonings and stabbings and all the things that women do.
Whatever violent crime means. Do you think
Okay,
poisoning
then
includes violent crime? Is included in violent crime? I think it
if
is.
it's not, it
I
is
think
or
it
isn't.
is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, then it's equal. It's
Yeah,
equal at
but
the
that's not
very
true.
least.
That's not true.
You're wrong.
Do you want us to look it
You're
up?
quite wrong.
Do you want to just look it
You
up
can look
right
it up
now?
all you want.
Should we look it up right
There's
now?
gonna go ahead, look it up right now. That doesn't mean I'm going to believe anything, dude. Were you looking at Wikipedia?
Yes.
Okay, the
It's
feminist
not good.
bias Wikipedia.
It's not true.
It is, yeah. It's feminist control, dude.
Okay,
Just like
so it
YouTube. That's
doesn't even
why on
make sense
YouTube
that
you
I
can't insult.
so it doesn't even make sense that I look it up, right? So you're not just not going to believe it, or is it
No,
only
because
or only if it approves of what you're saying?
my channel
Do you
deals
want me
with
to look it up
this.
or not?
No, you're
Okay.
wasting my time looking that up.
You wanted to get into sex differences in crime. You talked about that.
Yes,
I
and women
I
are
just explained to
completely
you what my
violent.
process of hate finding out if you're full of hate or not. That's just how
Well, there
what I
you
said.
go. And you're not talking about violent crime. I'm saying things that you don't like, therefore I hate women. Now, that shows a bias against men by you.
No, I didn't say that. It's things that I don't like. That's not what I said.
Women have the hashtag kill all men. They show it all the time, dude.
Oh man,
How
you
is how does it not
interesting.
women not how do women not like men or like men in that such a case? So they make the hashtag kill all men. All kinds of women use it. No woman actually says we got to stop this, right? And
So
how
if you
about the
find something,
bear versus the
if you encounter something like online, if you see like such a hashtag being used by women like that or something, right? Do you like jump in the air and say like, yes, I found the evidence that all women hate men?
I have that's evidence that women
Like,
don't
do
like
you do
men.
that? Like, do you say like, oh, okay, finally I have the evidence?
Not finally. It just is evidence.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that proves
How about
anything?
the
Do you
how
think that
about bear versus man?
you finding some woman using the hashtag
How
kill
about the
all men? Do you think that proves anything what we're talking about?
the numbers do? The amount of women who use it and how it's accepted by society is proof. How come that hashtag hasn't been taken down for the hate speech it is? Because the average woman doesn't like men and the average man doesn't like men, and they're willing to have this kind. You couldn't have I hashtag kill all black men, could you? Right. So if you're talking about race, then that's evil. It's recognized evil. But if you talk about the male gender, everything is up for grabs.
Okay,
That,
do you want to talk about AI girlfriends?
okay, go ahead.
Because I know that is a more you like that topic. Why not just talk about that? I
I
know you
like
will
the
like it.
talk we're doing
I
now.
know.
You're
Let's
the one
talk.
who doesn't like
Yeah, I have to run from that. So such a dangerous topic for
okay,
me to
anyway,
get
go
into.
ahead. AI girlfriend. What about it?
Okay. Yeah, I have the theory that the most expensive AI girlfriend, like once they become really realistic, that the most expensive one will be the one that is able to leave you, divorce you, cheat on you, insult you, get angry at you, bore you with their conversations.
You think
I
that's
think
what men will like? What? You
I
think
think that will
that's
be
what
the
men will want?
most. I think that will be the most expensive version that will
Well,
be
it'll
on the
get sold
market.
the least. I'll tell you that much. It'll
Come
get
again?
sold the least. It'll
But
get sold the least. Men won't be buying it. The whole point of getting a virtual
yeah, that's what I
girlfriend
mean
is
when
that you know,
that's what I mean when I say the most expensive one. So I don't mean it in a sense of the production cost will be really high. I mean it in a sense of it will be the most sought after.
You think men will sink after a virtual girlfriend who will
Yes.
divorce them?
Who's no
I
who
don't think
not
they will.
who's technically able to divorce them?
Why would they do it though? They're machines. You'd have to program them wanting to divorce in there.
Yeah, you would have
Why
to
would they?
add some basically some component that is not directly controllable by the person that bought it. So basically,
Well, you can do something like that without placing something that is hateful to men, right? Like a divorce is hateful to men. Why would you
divorce
program
is
that in?
divorce is hateful to men. Do you think somebody leaving you is just out of pure evil hatred?
Well, in the
Don't you
case of
think that people
divorce,
just can get divorced?
what's alimony and child support about? That's not simply leaving. That's
Man,
draining a man of his wealth.
you really have difficulties sticking to a topic, right?
No, no, this is the topic. You're asking me why do I think divorce is evil? The way it plays out, yes.
Okay, but I'm not talking about uh I mean that's you don't have to get into the concrete example. I'm just telling
Okay.
you that I think that part of it's just like a game, like a video game, okay? So you don't
You
want
mean
to
free will?
wait, what
You think that the most expensive AI will be more like free will, like they'll
it
have
will be a simulation of free will basically. It doesn't matter.
okay.
That depends on your philosophical views on free will. We don't have to get into that. I don't think it's really that necessary
I
for
know
the
what you mean though.
conversation.
You mean that it'll be closer to reality or something like that?
Yes, as close. I mean, it's just like in a video game, right? You don't want a game where you constantly win, right? So that's not exciting. That's not giving you anything. So you also want the game to make it hard on you and to give you challenges, right?
Yeah, but this isn't a game though. This is a
Mm,
companion, right?
I mean, it kind of is. It is a it is a toy to a certain extent, right?
Well, no, it's a companionship, right? I mean, it's like getting a dog. A dog isn't a toy. A dog is companionship for you, right? Or a pet. Could be a cat. There's a big difference between the toy and actual companionship.
I mean, if you imagine that that's a real person, then obviously. But to me, in my view, it doesn't matter. Also for a companion, right? For a friend, you would the reason why you appreciate them being your friend is because they have the choice to basically leave you and they don't, right? That's what makes it valuable. Like it makes it
Right.
valuable for someone to be your companion, to be close to you, because they could do so otherwise. If they would be your slave, that would not be a good companion, right? Because you would never know if they
But
really.
wanting to be with you isn't being a slave. Like, if you have a girlfriend you want to be with, you don't consider yourself a slave for that reason. You just say you like her and you want to be around her, right?
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying that
Yeah,
I
but I'm
think you're
saying I'll
misunderstanding
tell you
me.
this. No, I understand you perfectly, and I'm telling you now, guys will not go for that. If they got an AI girlfriend and the girlfriend divorced him, they would come to the company and say, "You screwed me over." Because I didn't, I want a companion. This isn't a companion. The companion did not fulfill its needs, right?
Do you have a companion, right? You have friends, right? So
I have
you
friends, yeah.
okay? So the reason why you enjoy your friend hanging around with you is because you know that is partly because of the conversations you have and because of the activities you do together, but it's also
Mhm.
partly because that the person is showing you affection by being with you, and they can only show you that affection if they have the choice, right? If they don't have the choice, if you would know, for example, that's why it's really difficult for a boss and an employee to be like friends, because there is some aspects to it that make it
Only peers can be friends. That's what you're
to a
saying.
certain
Only peers
extent.
can be friends. Yeah, yeah.
To a certain extent. So and in that way, you have to make the AI girlfriend so able to leave you and divorce you and also be bad to you in order
That
for
that would
her
be
being good to
that would
you.
be complete failure. Look, these women have AI boyfriends, right? They would laugh at you if you suggested something like that, that you would make their boyfriends possible to leave them and divorce them and treat them badly, they would go nuts. They would say, "Who the hell are
I
you?
don't know what
What
you
do you
mean.
think you're doing?"
What do you?
What do you mean you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what
Women
you
do
mean.
not.
Women have AI boyfriends.
They do.
I never met
Yeah.
anyone that had an AI boyfriend.
I did a video where a woman from China has an AI boyfriend,
Okay,
and she liked it, and she would go apeshit if all of a
and
sudden there was a program in there that her boyfriend might leave her and divorce her.
yeah.
Come on, dude. Like you've got to
Wait,
come.
what does that prove, man? What does it prove? You just again,
What I'm saying is
you're just
men are
giving
not going
some,
to go
you're
for
just
that.
saying evidence, evidence A. This woman in China, this random woman in China would not want it. Checkmate, board connect.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah, men will want
That's
that.
what you're basically saying. That's ridiculous. Do you know? Can you
It
follow
isn't.
my?
No. Men do not want that. Men aren't going to buy an AI to
I
be
mean, you
treated
can
like
say that,
shit
but you can
because
also
you're a
give.
weak
I mean,
girl.
we can disagree about that. We can disagree about that,
Yeah,
but you
we
can.
are. Because
Yeah, but
no,
you're
no
not
man
really
would go for it.
you're not really giving any arguments. You're just
I am.
saying
I'm telling you,
what
no,
is the
no man
argument?
wants them. The
That's just
argument
a
is no
statement.
man
That's not
wants
an
them.
argument. That's not an argument. You're just stating your opinion. That's not an argument. I don't believe that. There is no bridge we can have right now.
Oh, really? You don't believe? You believe men will want to buy an AI girlfriend who has a chance to leave them and divorce them?
I have given you my arguments for why I believe
Yeah.
that. Yes, I
And I'm
believe that.
saying men will
Yes,
go for
wait,
that, dude.
wait. I have given you my arguments for why I believe that. Do you remember what those were? What were my arguments?
Yeah,
Can you
and
still
there,
remember
that's a
them?
failure. Men will not want that.
Can you repeat my arguments? Just my arguments that I gave to you. I gave you arguments for my opinion, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean, right?
Okay, what did I
I know
say?
what your arguments are.
What did I say?
And it's not an argument because
Just in a
guys are not going
nutshell,
to
what
go
did
for
I
it.
say? What was my argument for why men would want that?
You
Just so I'm
think
sure
men
that
will
we are
want,
communicating here.
right, you think men will want an AI who
Because
will possibly divorce them or leave them so that they can, so their love can be real,
no, that's not
that
what
they
I
can
said.
appreciate the love they got. Well, okay, what are your argument then?
I
What would
told
make a
you
man want
the
a
only
AI to get it divorced? I'm curious.
the only way I told you it's the same way you value your companionship by real people. It's their ability of being able to leave you. That's
No,
what you
no,
value
no,
about it.
actually, dude, I value people because I have a good time with them. I'm not interested in have them leave me.
Yeah, but what if you thought that they might why did you agree with me saying that it must be between peers to a certain extent? Because if you would not know if they would be genuinely enjoying spending time with you, that would not work, right? You would not enjoy that time. Would you enjoy having time spending time with someone where you would suspect them not having the choice of being with you? That they're being forced to be with you? Would you enjoy that?
We are talking about AI, right?
Yes.
Okay, so guys might want a woman to have free will, but he'll always want the AI to choose him. Otherwise, it's a broken AI. It's not getting him what he wants. What program an AI that likes me for myself? That's what he'll want.
Do you remember Tamagotchis?
What's that?
Do you remember Tamagotchis?
No, I don't know what Tamagotchis is.
There were these small devices, and there was basically like it was before like Game Boys and video consoles. It was like in the
Yeah.
90s. It was like this small little toy, and it had like a small, very small display in it, and there was basically like a creature that you were feeding every day. And I don't know, I never played it, but one thing about it that was really important for the people to have fun with it was that it could die, right? That was a huge part of the game. So it's stopping to work is a big
About the
part of
toy
it.
and not a companion. That's why I said this is about companionship.
A companion can only be
Someone
someone
sold you a
that is
dog,
a
if someone
companion.
sold you a dog that there's a chance this dog might run away on you, you wouldn't buy that dog. You'd say, "Where's a dog that's calm and likes to hang around me and hang around the house?" This because this isn't a toy. You know?
Why do you enjoy your dog's company? Because you think that the dog's also enjoying your company, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly.
and how would you know? How would you know if they really enjoy it if they don't have the choice to leave you?
Mm. Well, dogs do. You can abuse a dog till he leaves or she
That's
leaves.
not what I said. That's not what I'm asking. How would you know? How would you know if your companion doesn't matter if it's AI or real? How would you know if it can leave if it enjoys being with you if it's not capable to leave?
Well, it's the idea of what is that? Suspension of belief. You have to do it that way.
What does that mean? Suspension of belief.
Oh, suspension of disbelief. In other words, you got to believe in your heart that this AI actually likes me. You got to fool yourself into thinking that they they have choice and they like you for who you are.
Mm-hmm. Or you just buy the one that can leave you, and in case it leaves you, you just have to buy a new one.
I'm telling you right now, no one is going to go for that. Maybe in your head,
So you can say that
but no.
you just have to say no. You don't know that, right? So you don't know that if you have an AI that
Yes, I
can't
do
leave
know that.
you. If you have an AI that can't leave you, you cannot know if that AI wants to stay with you or not.
That's your issue,
If
dude.
you are good enough, if you have the validation, you don't get any validation from that.
People
That's what.
want someone who's gonna like them for themselves, right? If AI
Do,
can give that to them, that's great.
don't you think that a big part of having friends is also the validation of being a good person and having being lovable enough to have people wanting to be with you? Isn't that a big part of your self-esteem also coming from that?
Right? And the reason why AI is coming out is because the average woman doesn't give that to a man.
Yeah, but that
So
that
they're
would not
looking
give
at me.
that would not give any validation to anyone, right? They
Well,
would
it
still
depends.
be
We'll see how many. We'll see how it depends. Well, this Chinese woman who had her AI boyfriend said she was happy with him.
all right. Then I'm sorry. I'll take back everything I've said. If the Chinese woman said so, then I'll take back everything I've said. I'm so sorry, Trevor.
I don't
I mean, come
know.
on, like that's
So
like you can't believe that you can't believe and can't possibly believe that that's a good argument. Talking to me about a Chinese
what are you
woman,
talking about?
like that's
I'm giving an example. You show me a man who's been divorced by his AI and said, "I'm happier with that." Show me that.
no, he's gonna be devastated.
There you
He's not
go.
gonna.
So they're
Yeah,
not going to want
I've
you.
never said that he's gonna be happy about it, but he's still gonna buy one that is able to do that because it's gonna give him more validation
No,
than the
no,
one
it's
that
not.
can't
No
leave.
man is going to do that. You are delusional. Hanak, you are delusional.
I have a question for you. You have these
Sure.
who will be the biggest buyers of AI girlfriends from in our current society? Probably incels, right? They'll be the first ones that will get them.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
So so why are they getting them? If they is it for sex? Is it for I mean it, they could get sex from prostitutes, right?
Companionship. They want
Yeah, but the
companionship. Yeah.
companionship doesn't work. We already agreed on that. It's not working if there is no if they don't know that if there is no choice in that.
You
That's
didn't
not
agree on that.
companionship.
That's your position.
You
I
could
think these
also
guys will be happy with it.
you can also rent a girlfriend. Do you know that? Since we're already talking about Asia, in
Yeah.
Japan you can rent girlfriends, right? Just like it's not about sex, it's just hanging
That's just
around and
prostitution. Yeah. Prostitution
okay,
comes in all
so
forms.
do you think that incels that are currently suffering would suffer that it would solve their problem if they would just rent a girlfriend? That they would be
No,
happy all of a sudden and
because it's prostitution. They know what prostitution. You may as well say, well,
yeah, but
why don't
why
they just
not?
get a prostitute?
Why aren't they happy that it's just the same as an AI girlfriend that there is
Not
no
really,
why is it different? How is it different from the AI girlfriend that you proposed?
because the AI girlfriend is neutral. She may not be able to love him, but she doesn't hate him either. Whereas
Ah,
the
okay.
the rented girlfriend, she's only there for sex. She doesn't actually like him.
She doesn't
You know.
actually like him. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly what I said. She doesn't
Okay.
like him for himself if he's paying her to be around.
But the
If
AI
you paid
but the AI robot does? The AI girlfriend
I
actually
said
likes him? Is that what you're
I
saying?
said no. I said the AI wouldn't dislike him. It's neutral.
Yeah, but he wants
It's
someone to.
less
Yeah, but
embarrassing
what they
too.
want, even if I would agree with that, but which I don't. But isn't what somebody that is an incel want is somebody to like them? Neutral wouldn't
Right.
would it cut it, right?
So how is prostitution liking him though?
I never
Like how
said I
is
never
renting
said
a
that.
girlfriend?
I never said that. I just said that your the AI robot that you are suggesting is not better than the
I
is just
believe they'll be able to submerge themselves better than
yeah, but
humans
it's
can.
still not solving the main issue, was it? Which is
It does
someone.
if they submerge, if they're actually able to believe and it fulfills their desires, it does work. I'm not saying it will, but if it works, why not? You saw the movie Her, right? Where the guy
Yeah,
had
I
the
did, but
AR girlfriend.
it's a long time ago that I saw it. It's like
Right, right, right.
it
No, the
came
guy
out. I
was
don't know,
happy
like
with her. Did she not?
5 6 years ago or something like
Do you
that.
remember the end? Did she not like evolve and leave him?
Yeah, that's what yeah, that's what I'm saying,
He
right?
wasn't happy.
Yeah,
He
he
was
wasn't
fulfilled
happy,
before he left him, and then she
obviously.
wasn't fulfilled after,
I have
right?
to. I really wanted to rewatch that movie. I think I will rewatch it soon.
Did he not get a so-called real girlfriend at the end?
What are you trying to prove right now? Are you trying to, like, through the script of the movie? Are you trying to make an argument, or what are you doing? I'm not getting it. What is the point of now us talking about her?
Well, the point is that that character, it happened to work for him. I'm not saying it will work for real
I
life,
don't even remember
but
the
if
movie,
it
to be
works for
honest.
real life the way him, guys will prefer that for company
And you think that's a
as
good
opposed to
argument
renting it.
to give first the Chinese lady with the AI boyfriend and now the movie. That's your arguments that you want to go with.
You have nothing to counter with it. Sorry, dude, you don't have
Okay.
a scenario in real life where a man has paid for an AI companion that has left him. You don't have an example. You don't have a counter example.
Okay. I mean, I'm asking you for your thoughts about what's going to happen in the future, right?
You see, this is it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if these AIs will actually fulfill the task they're meant to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Right?
What is your prescription for incels? What would be your advice to incels?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, whatever you do, what do guys who don't get girlfriends? There's always been guys like that. They've just found other things in life to entertain themselves or do something with or fulfill their lives with. Uh, have you ever read the book Faust?
No, I've
The
read
story
parts of
Faust.
it. I've read parts of it in school and
Okay,
university as well.
Faust. The devil was gave Faust all these, the pleasures, right? All these, love, pleasure. But what made him happy in the end was working for a greater cause. It was he was reclaiming land for the people, so that would be, there'd be more farmland for people. That made him happy in the end. He had purpose. He found a purpose for himself. Really, that's what's going to have to happen now. The average guy is going to have to find purpose for himself. That's it. There's nothing beyond that. I mean, I'm not a magician. You know, these incels exist because women deselect them. Are you going to force women to get together with these guys? No. So the guy has to find something else for his life, another purpose. That's it.
So you're basically also saying that it's over for I mean that they shouldn't, or maybe do you think that it's possible for them to get out of inceldom, or do you just not recommend it because you think
Sure, they
that
can
being
gain
in.
status.
Mm-hmm,
They could gain fame and wealth and
mm-hmm,
attract the fake love that way.
mm-hmm. I mean, it's really interesting because your point of view, the reason why, one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk to you is because that your perspective is again in opposition to everything. Like there's this blue pill, red pill, black pill. I mean, you're aware of these terms, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
pills. Yeah,
there's all of these pills, and
yeah.
then you have like you, right? So then there is like you are completely outside of, like, you're basically disagreeing with all of these views of the world, like in a very severe way. Because like the blue pill is basically saying that relations are nice, and like also the everything between man and woman is, there is a lot of beauty there, and there is lots of good things, and that everybody can get it right, and just yeah, I don't know how to say it in English, but every pot has its you know what I mean, like there's this one saying. Yeah, and then you have the red pill. You're probably closest to the red pill, where it's about status, right? Where if you get enough status, you will eventually have a girlfriend. Then there is the black pill, which says that it's all about looks. But you seem to be saying that it's all about status, but also it's not worth seeking, right?
Yeah, well, it's not the same as being loved for you are. You know, gaining status, yeah, it's a bribe.
So
I'm
is
wealthy and
there
famous.
mhm.
Yeah,
Has
go
there
ahead.
ever been a time in history where a relationship would have been something that you would want? A relationship with a woman, getting married,
For
and
me?
yeah, or
Oh, I wanted
you
it
would want,
all.
for
Yeah.
yourself or for others, where you would say that's something good.
Uh, I used to think it was good, but now I know that marriage, that there's no men have no rights in marriage. Why would you enter an institution where you have no rights? What right do you have as a married man that you don't have as an unmarried man in that relationship?
Forget about marriage, just getting in a relationship with a woman, right?
Oh, right. Okay. So not a marriage. Okay. Well, you asked me about marriage. I said no.
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry.
know.
I didn't mean like the legal ramifications of marriage. I more meant like marriage in the sense of being with one person, like getting out of serial monogamy and being with one person, like committing to a relationship with one person.
Right. Well, being with one person isn't what it's cracked up to be. The only reason men look, rich men get harems, right? Or they used to have harems, right? The only reason a man tries to stick with one woman is because he knows he can't have a harem. So he tries his best to get anyone. That's not the same as saying I want to be monogamous. Sorry, monogamous. You know, men take monogamy just because if that might be the only thing they can get, and now they can't even get that. You
Okay,
know,
but then you would, okay, are you okay? That's then you would say monogamy is good, but harems are better. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say monogamy was even good or harems. To tell you the
But you said
truth,
that men take monogamy because they can't have harems.
that's true. Harems are better than monogamy. If a guy could have a harem, the only thing is, it's also not good because for you to have a harem as a man,
Yeah.
other men couldn't have them, right? So if you have 10 women to your name, that means 9 other guys can't have one. So I know harems might be something guys like, but it's also very destructive, right?
Is
In that
anyone
regard.
currently in society uh having a nice, good, I don't even know what that means from your perspective, but is anyone having a good relationship? Like if I would tell you, like I was in a relationship, I don't know, a year ago the last time, and if I would have told you at the time I'm in a happy relationship, what would you have to see in my relationship in order for you to say, ah, nice for him, I'm really happy for him that he has a girlfriend?
Well, I'd have to say, okay, nothing bad is happening to him so far. That is good. And it's stable. They're not arguing a lot so far. That's good. But your relationship with any woman is going to be it's going to be conditional, right? You're going to fulfill your male gender roles because that's what she wants of you, right? You're you might luck out and become a house husband. Most likely, they're very rare, so that won't happen. Plus, there was an article where a guy became a house husband, his wife became resentful, and she divorced him over it. It was her
Wait,
idea.
I don't want to hear these anecdotes. I just want to talk
This
about
isn't an
this.
antidote.
I want to
This
talk
is
about
an
this. You said something
article talking
interesting.
about what happened.
You said something interesting. I would like to talk more about that before you get into
Okay.
weird anecdotes. Um,
The
so you
antidote isn't
said,
weird.
sorry.
It's just truth. No, no, go ahead.
So you are saying that if you would see us basically just by normal regular society standards being happy, just like not arguing that much, and right, what you list that you said.
You know your place. That's right.
Okay, that's, you didn't say that, I think, right?
I'm saying I'm
What would that
adding.
mean? What would that mean? Me knowing my
That means
place?
you are the provider. You fulfill your typical male gender roles that she
Wait, the
demands.
question is, just to remind you, you can go on if you want, but
Okay.
just to remind you, the question was, what would you have to say in order would you have to see in my relationship in order for you to be happy for me as a man, in order for you
Okay.
to say, wow, nice, he's in a good relationship, he's not being abused, he's not being taken advantage of, he's not being like she actually likes him, or is that not possible? That's what I'm
I would
asking.
say it's not possible because
Okay.
all you've done is saying, yeah, you're fulfilling Trevor's desire that, or not desire, but his criteria that you're not being harmed by the woman. That's not the same as being loved for yourself or being loved unconditionally. So, I mean, that's what men want.
Does that even exist in
They're
your
never
view?
going to get that.
Does it even
They're
exist?
never going to.
So, but does it exist from male to female?
You mean like, do men love women unconditionally?
Yes.
You can find cases of that.
Okay.
I don't think all men, no, for sure.
Can't you? But you can't find any cases for woman to man.
No,
So you can find
not
cases.
unconditionally. No,
Yeah, I'm talking about unconditionally. So you can find
no,
cases for women.
no.
Is how, but you can't find any for men, right? Sorry, the other way around. You can find examples. Can you give me an example? Just
Men are the ones that
how
offer
would
the
that
bribe, right?
how would that
Do,
look
do
like? No, but
you
they
assume?
wait. If you ask
Yeah.
men,
Well,
what's the first, you posted this video today in my Discord. You posted a video, I watched it, by the way, about lookism, how lookism is wrong,
that's
right?
right.
It's gonna make my blackpill viewers were very angry, but we're here to
Okay.
disagree, obviously.
Okay.
But the in that video also it said, which is correct, that that men, when they are being asked why they choose a partner,
Just a
on
minute.
which
I don't
basis.
want to get interrupted here. Just a minute. Yeah.
Sure, no worries.
Go ahead.
All right. So men usually say that for the primary reason why they choose their partners is because of looks. That's the number one reason. And for women,
Yeah.
it's like not even close to being in the top three, I think. So that's not unconditional, right?
But these women get ugly with age, and yet guys don't divorce
Yeah,
them
and it's a
necessarily.
very common thing for men to find a younger, more beautiful woman, right? Or to engage in
Not,
affairs
not, not
and
as common as you think.
to have mistresses, to engage in affairs with younger women, right?
Well, mistresses, that's just having a harem. That's not the same as being unconditional, right?
No, a harem is no, a harem is it being everybody being aware of it, right? And it
Okay,
being
how do you
official, and it's
explain
also
guys like
socially
Will Smith then?
accepted.
How do you explain guys like Will Smith
Fuck,
who can get a harem
you
of women?
found an example. Again, checkmate. I don't know what to do.
Well, you don't know what to do because it shows you that
Yeah,
Will
I'm so.
Smith, he could have dumped
Do
his
you think I'm
woman for a
shocked that you
younger
find?
woman.
Do you think I'm shocked that you find an example where this is not the case? I'm not even claiming that this is never. People like Will Smith don't exist. I
You
never.
asked me, can men find love women unconditionally? Obviously, Will
Do you
Smith
think
is
that Will
loving.
Smith loved her unconditionally? Loved his
Yes,
wife
because she's treating him
unconditionally?
like garbage and he still wants to be there.
Okay, so there is an
It's
example. Okay, so you found an example of a man being. Let's say I
right.
agree
Well,
with
that's
that.
all you asked me.
Let's say I agree with that. Let's say I agree with that. Okay, let's say I
Okay.
agree with that. Now, can't I find an example of? Let's say I take I don't know, Stephen Hawking, his wife.
That's
He
not an
got sick.
example.
He got
He had
sick.
status and pain.
Okay, so basically comes down to every example that I give, you're gonna disagree with, and but we
Well,
can't look in
that
the
example doesn't prove what you say. Mine
we can.
does.
How does your example prove anything? It doesn't prove anything.
It does because Will Smith could have dumped his wife.
how do we know?
because he doesn't value status. He values looks in a woman, and
Yeah, but
hers is faded. Meanwhile, women value status in a man,
how
and
do
that's
we
what Stephen Hawking has
how do
or
we know
had when he
that?
was alive.
How do we know
Because
that?
he's a famous man. That's what status
I
is.
didn't even finish my question. How do we know that it's not some other factor that we don't know? How would you ever know that? How would you know?
What
How
can
would
I
you know
say?
that he doesn't have like this weird kink that only she fulfills him, and that, or how do
Oh,
we
he
know
loves her
that?
unconditionally. Yeah.
Wait, that's not unconditionally. If she does something for him, and that's why he can't leave her.
Right. Uh, I think this ends with I'm getting a hard time from the person next door, so I think we'll have to cut it off here. But it
Sure.
just goes to show you, sorry, but Kanak, you're just reaching.
Okay.
Guys are in denial and delusion.
Okay. Do you
It's
have?
terrible.
Okay. Do you have to go right away, or do you have 5 more minutes?
Yeah, I'm leaving now.
Okay. All right.
But thank you. I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah, me too, Trevor. I know I can get confrontational, but I don't have antipathy towards you. It
Okay,
was a good
good.
conversation. Thanks.
Kanak, see you around, my man.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That's it, people. That was it. Um, Let me know what you guys thought about the conversation. It didn't went as expected. Actually, I don't know. I expected it to be very, very, very different. I watched his streams, and I don't know. I didn't expect it to be that way. But it is what it is. Still, thanks to wait, let me find the name of the person that suggested it. Oh damn, I can't see it right now. I think it was Periola. Yeah, thanks for suggesting it. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm gonna call it a stream for this week. I see Aiden is in the chat. Aiden, nice to see you here. Wheeling says, it seems you take people expanding on things as derailment rather than them explaining further where their views derive from. Yeah, I disagree. Aiden says, well done for connect your interview skills really gone up. Thanks, Aiden. Appreciate it. Yeah, you were basically my third interview, and yeah, I still feel like I'm a rookie, but trying to get better. But yeah, I'm not really that happy about this conversation. I feel like I could have handled it a little bit better. What are your concluding thoughts? I mean, I feel like there were lots of obvious logical inconsistencies, and I would have expected him to accept those, and we could have worked from there. I would have loved to see that, but I feel like maybe I was too confrontational, and he didn't feel comfortable of admitting that some of the stuff that he said didn't make any sense. And yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Regarding his view of on the whole topic, I mean, he's basically pointing out every cool things that people do to each other in society, and he's basically just selecting all the things that women do to men. I mean, people just are generally pretty bad to each other in society. They accuse each other, they rape each other, they accuse each other of rape. They do just they engage in many power plays. Also in relationships, people are being sociopathic, and yeah, just overall, most people treat each other pretty badly. And you can always just pick all the stuff that men do to women, and paint a portrait where it seems like it's all patriarchy, and all women are being oppressed. And you can also do the same with men. And at the end of the day, I think that men and women are very different, but also way more similar than different. And I don't, yeah. Even if it were the case that more women are being worse to men than men are being bad to women, like even if I would concede that one gender is doing more harm to the other gender, that wouldn't change anything that I believe in. I mean, I wouldn't believe in some conspiracy where all women hate men. Yeah. Do you know what face and LMS is? I don't know. I don't think so. How comes you don't accept that words have multiple working definitions? That is a great question. Wheeling, thanks. I do accept that words have multiple definitions, but if you are using a word in a sentence and I want to understand that sentence, you have to tell me what that word means in that sentence. You can then switch to a different definition in a different sentence, but I would either have to be aware of that or you have to tell me. I mean, if I talk about pigs and then I insult someone as a pig, that obviously there's two definitions that are at play here. But if the other person doesn't know which one is at play, that makes the conversation meaningless, right? I hope that answers your question, Wheeling. Aiden says, it's rough. I remember doing the contradiction debate method back when I was in. It's kind of an interesting mechanism to naturally fall back on. I mean, I don't feel like it's a debate method. It might seem that way, but I don't think that it is at all. I think like it's the only way. It's the only way that me and him are going to be able to agree or disagree absolutely on stuff. So we can disagree on empirical. There is of course some common ground we can get from empirical evidence. For example, statistics, right? We could pull up statistics, and if we have institutions that we both trust, then we can get some common ground and find some agreement or disagreement about stuff. But he doesn't even believe in the same institutions that I believe in. So he doesn't even believe that the Wikipedia is going to give him accurate numbers on what the crime statistics are. So he's even rejecting every empirical evidence that I could bring to the table. And that's usually the case. That's the case in many conversations that you have. So the only common ground that we can have is by finding logical inconsistencies, right? So otherwise, I don't have any way of convincing him, and he doesn't have any way of convincing me. Okay. Wheeling says overtone. I don't think Face and LMS would do an interview. I guess Face and LMS is a person, right? Or YouTube channel. I think it. I feel like the name rings a bell, but I'm really not sure. Chat Ohunayu says, but men are always called out for our bad behavior. Wage gap exists because men need to gain status and have more motive to climb the ladder. Yeah, I don't disagree with what you just said. Don't you think that requires more tactfulness from you regarding the definitions? I think generally most people can understand how a word is being used, like when calling someone gay. Not sure I'm understanding you, and also what you mean by tactfulness when it comes to definitions. I mean, it's just when you use a definition in completely different ways in one sentence and then in the other, I'm having difficulties grasping what you're saying. It's like basically impossible. If I ask you what is gay and you say a guy that is not masculine enough, because people that are not masculine enough for society are being called gay, that's not a good definition of what gay means, right? If we're talking about homosexuality or mating preferences or whatever, like something that is generally about being gay, about in a sense of homosexuality, and then you use this weird definition, that comes from people insulting each other as gay, that just doesn't make any sense. I feel like it's just it was just something provocative he was saying to garner sympathy, I think, from black pillars, I believe. And he could have just pushed that aside and could have just said, yeah, it's just some obviously that's not the real definition. That I obviously I don't believe in that definition. He could have just said that. The contradiction debate method is more a defensive reflex. I remember whenever being pushed to a corner on logic, I basically put that argument aside and changed the topic to something fallacious. Yeah, that's what he was doing, yeah. Right, but what I mean is that generally people can read between the words. Relink, I understand you 100% what you're saying. I really understand what you mean. But the problem is that he is using the double meaning of words to make all of this to make his sentences be right. So he can just call someone an incel, and we don't really know what that means because he's using it so interchangeably. So the only way we can disentangle what he's saying is by asking him, when he's using the word, asking him for the definition. Otherwise, he's able to weasel his way basically around giving a definitive statement about about his thoughts, right? So obviously, I could always choose for him the definition that suits him the best, right? But as he also did in the conversation, he would always just flip flop between these two definitions. That's a big problem. I mean, I know you would have probably wanted us to get along more, and I wished for that as well. To be honest, I didn't thought it was going to be that confrontational. I don't dislike him or anything. I'm not angry at him or anything. I just feel like he's basically creating audio porn for his viewers that are just angry, and he's basically constantly just telling them how they're being victimized, and there is no real arguments behind what he's saying. Overtone says, do you mean he was equivocating? I mean, he was using the same word but with different meanings behind it in different sentences. And he does that in order for the logical inconsistencies not to be obvious. So if he would use one strict definition for a word, then he would run into logical inconsistencies. But if he's flip-flopping between two different definitions, then he doesn't run into inconsistencies. So that's a problem I have with it. I hope I answered your question. Maybe you can expand on what you mean by equivocating. Distant future. Entire reality is behind his words. Overtone BP says, yeah, that's equivocation. I'm not sure. It's not contradictions. He's making relative and generalized comments. If someone says you get rich by working hard, it's not a contradiction when he's retorted by the other saying trust fund babies. Okay, Wheelink, maybe just one last, I'm gonna get into this and then I have to call this a stream soon. But the thing was, he's saying, I'm asking him what his perspective on the incel crisis is, right? Why are there so many incels, and what he thinks about it from his perspective. And the reason he says is because women don't like men. They just want the bribe. They just want material benefit from men. So they just want money, basically. And then I ask him, okay, but there is cases where women have money and they still engage in emotional and physical relationships, right? And first, he says that doesn't exist. Okay, I accept that. But then he says, then I ask him, why do why are there rich incels, right? And he says, yeah, because they also are sexually interested in men. And then all of a sudden, his first statement becomes not true, right? The first statement obviously isn't true anymore because he said that they just want the bribe, that they just want the material benefit, that they're not interested in men. But that's just wrong. No, he says they want status. Status is more than money. He's basically saying they don't like. I mean, there's two ways to see it, right? So they want status. If he would have said they want status because they enjoy a man's company that has status, they're attracted to a man that has status, I wouldn't disagree. But if he says that the status is just some exchange, that they're getting something from it directly, other than enjoying a man with status, that's where I disagree, and he seems to be saying that. Overton BP says, to me it seems he doesn't believe that looks matter. He doesn't believe that looks matter at all. That's why what I said. He's basically not a black pillar. He believes that no woman is actually really attracted to a man. So he doesn't believe that. That's why I asked. So is there any people in society where you would say that they're getting it, basically, that they're happy with a woman, that they're enjoying their time, with women? But he doesn't believe that there exists any man that believes in that. It's more likely that they don't care about men but find us sexually attractive. I don't believe that, but he could have said that, but he doesn't even believe that, basically. But I tried to pin him down to either one of these statements, but he's not even, he wasn't even able to admit that women are sexually attracted to men. Right, I agree with you there, but I see those absolutes he gives as generalizations. I mean, do you think that's generally true that women are not attracted to men sexually? Do you think that's even a good generalization? Even if you would say like most, like that not even that like would make sense, I think. Yeah, also Aiden, I agree 100%. Absolutes can't be generalizations at the same time. That's basically like contradicting. But I mean, even if we are not pedantic about it, even there it's false. If he was willing to concede on the point that women find men attractive, where would you have steered the conversation? I mean, firstly, I would have pointed out to him that it's not just about bribe then. If you agree that women find men sexually attractive, then it's not about bribe, right? It's not only about like money and material goods. So that's already the first contradiction. So he would have had to take that back at least. That would have been the first point. And then I would have gone further and made the same argument I made with sexual attraction. I would have made with emotional comfort, that also women that can get any form of sexual. I mean, women. There is very wealthy women in the world, right? Or even just wealthy women in the world who don't need money, that are having sex, that are engaging in emotional relationships where they're being comforted emotionally, and that's another thing that they get from a partner, right? So that would have been just the next example. But he was not able to go. We were not able to go further from that, because when I pinned him down on him admitting that they are sexually attracted, he was again saying that they're not, and then he was saying that they are, and then he was saying that they're not, and yeah, we were just flip-flopping between these two, basically. From talking to him, he does admit that women are sexually attracted to men. He has talked about the front covers of romance books being handsome men. Yeah, he kind of admits, and then he says that it's not true in one sentence later. Yes, but he's a human, not a calculator. I look at what is behind what people are saying, not only what comes out of their mouth. Yeah, I feel like this. I don't even have the problem, WeLink, is that I don't even have an interpretation that I could give that would make sense, that would make it that it makes sense, you know. So I couldn't even interpret it such that it makes sense. Because generally I try to do that. So if I have an interpretation that would make sense, I'm offering it as an option. I don't know if you guys have you seen that or realized it, but I try to do that. So if there is a way out of that contradiction, I at least name it as one of the possible outs from that. But I don't really see, until now, I don't see any way how you can get out of this contradiction. So when you say I look at what is behind what people are saying, I don't see what's behind. There might be some stuff that is behind, but it's just contradictory as well. Okay, guys, that's it. I have to call this a stream. Thanks for being here. It was quite exhausting. Yeah, I hope next week I have a debate on veganism, but I'm saying this since weeks. It's not, I don't know, we're not getting any answers. Let's see. Good interview overall. Music today. Seeing you pull them back to the original was refreshing. More interviews should do that. Thank you very much, Aiden. I'm also watching your stuff. Hope you're doing well. WeLink, I hope your channel grows and improves because I think you have good potential. Thank you very much, WeLink. I know you almost every time disagree with me, but I really appreciate disagreement as well. And yeah, I'm really glad to see you here every time. Yeah, Overtone BP, I agree that this interview was kind of bad. And it was partly my fault, but not all of it. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good day or night, depending on where you are. Bye.